All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I had to check a couple things real quick. Good morning, King Carnage. Good morning, Ace. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Andreas. The market. Why did I sound like that? The market is open. So here's the 2 day ago kind of low and previous day close, and then this leads into the previous day low and the previous day lows. So we just kept that marked. The only thing we took off was 2 day ago open, 2 day ago close, and then we moved it over to here to where you have the previous day open. Did not mark the close because we already marked the supply of yesterday, the high to the last open of the last green candle before the reversal back down end of day. And you can see we actually closed right under it, perfectly testing it. So I just left those levels there. And then you move over to the right, and our bigger time frame levels actually line up with pre-market high, so we didn't have to remark that. And pre-market low was right in between two important levels, so I just decided to leave it. Plus, we were pushing lower before stream even started, so we left it to where we have bigger drops are going to most likely happen under this 2 day support right here. Good rejections though that are bearish can stay under 543.99. So like right now, if you see us rejecting or pushing away from this, this is bearish, rejecting under this level here. Because this will be the second time in a row, second day in a row, we've actually left this area here and just fell. But we'll actually see if we get a continuation under this or not. This will be what picks up the selling. And vice versa, if you kind of flip the chart, if we were to push over this would just kind of be an early aggressive on sign that buyers are trying to push higher. And then this would be kind of an extra signal on top of that if they also cross this area. But you can see we are a lot farther from that now, so it's not much in the talks as it was earlier. We were killing it this morning in pre-market and all night, and then, you know, big move this morning. But nice rejection away from 543.99 so far. We'll see if we actually end up making it down to the next level or breaking it or holding it or what. But last 2 days when we pushed down here, and you can see yesterday, pushed down here again, ended up holding it. So that's why we're going to leave that marked. But very, very, very important area over here. So I think just either way, this gives us good idea of what's going on. So right now you should be, if you're using my system, you should be more bearish than bullish as of right now under 543.99 until we see a pushback over this, right? And if we get a pushback over this, great sign, for scalps. But right now we're just seeing a slightly red open. It's nothing crazy yet. Which I think fair enough. If you have this big of a move going up and then back down in the pre-market, I think fair enough that you're going to have a weird, probably first 20 minutes at least. Just very unstable price action just because of how unstable the pre-market was. A lot of people derive what they're going to do in the first 30 minutes from pre-market. They look at this and they're like, oh, I'm bullish, or oh, I'm bearish. I think people see this and they're like, I don't know what to do. I think we're going to fall. Or this gets bought back up because we fell so much so quick, So it's just flip set mindset right now. So, again, just be stable. Have an actual set game plan. Try not to just randomly take trades. These are definitely some of the weeks I feel like people just randomly take trades just to take trades. Don't be that person who's just trading the trade. Actually take something you trust. And you'll know what I mean after you're done with your trade, because right after you're done, you'll instantly be like, wow, that was stupid, or you'll instantly be like, wow, that was the best trade of my life. Like, you always feel that like instant clarity afterwards. Like, you'll know. If if you've been doing this long enough, if you're not even at that point yet, it's kind of hard to review so quickly afterwards. But good morning to everybody. Good morning, Cody. Good morning, Dr. J. Aloha, SF. Good morning, Sinful. Good to see you, man. Dr. J says yes. If I win, it's that was lucky. Yeah, you don't want to be like that. You want to be like, damn, that was good. I planned that. You want to feel like it was calculated to some extent. It's not going to be perfectly going to according to your plan, but you should have a template or something. Good morning, D-Touch. Good morning. And Good morning, everybody in Discord. We got Arax, Caspa, Garden, Lynn, and Spicy. Good morning, guys. So I posted SPY. We also posted IWM. I don't like people to forget that IWM is a chart you can watch. It's a beautiful chart. It's just small caps, but it does get really good movement. But you can see they weren't up as much as the normal equity market with SPY and everything else. They were just kind of flat the whole time. And then they also experienced that drop that the equity market experienced. So basically, we're going to be bearish on this under 199.82. So we like this under this level. What we don't like is if it retakes this level. This will be good for bulls, and they can work back towards this supply right here. They end up rejecting this or pushing under this. That is continuation of bearish. So again, just another simple game plan. I have something set. I'm bearish and bullish at certain parts of the charts. If I see bullish or bearish price action at that certain part of the chart, then I will go after it. And that's just based on the system. That isn't anything to do with my bias. That has nothing to do with anything nothing to do with my opinion. It's just how the chart works with how the system works. And that's really what you got to leave it up to. You can't sit here and be like, well, I really think it's going to do this. And then you invest in whatever you think. And then guess what? You lose. And then guess what? You're like, why did I go off of a random theoretical trade? Why did I do that? Why am I testing things? I'm trying to grow. What's going on? Jesus, that's hard to look at on the 5-minute. Costco's still up there. Starbucks slowing down. ARM looking pretty strong still. I'm just skipping through some dailies because I haven't seen some of these in a bit. Today, after the kind of like normal part of the stream, we're going to do a lot of charting. We're going to go through a lot of different charts on swing trading charts, day trading level charts. We're just going to go through the charts I need to kind of clean back up today. So we'll do that a little bit after the normal usual session in here. I'll just pull up a chart and start going at it. Geez, some of these solar are just falling off a cliff. We were preaching their death. This is either about to be a pretty crazy rejection, or this like squeezing grind up you see here on energy is about to turn into the craziest, most bullish breakout you've ever seen. Such a crucial part of an energy chart. I'm on the monthly. Yeah, I mean, they're at all-time high supply on the monthly. That's crazy. And then here's like a demand that's right under them. And they're stuck perfectly in between it. Alright, let's go back to see what SPY's doing. I always like to bullshit the first few minutes, give myself a few minutes of time just to kind of let the chart set up, because, I mean, there's almost no point to trading the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. You're just guessing at that point. I like to think about this. So you guys know how I talk about context, like getting context from your chart before taking a trade. Like if I look back here and I'm like, oh, we sold off here, and then I look over here and I'm like, oh, we did it again here. Wow, that's crazy. I should be bearish from there, you know, just kind of looking back and making yourself realize, like, where is this chart actually bearish and bullish from? Getting context, like a book. It's the same thing like a book. When you're trading in the first 10, 20, 30 minutes, you know, what context are you really even going off of? You know, yes, you have a couple days of price action to look at, but, I mean, who starts reading a book and at the very beginning they're like, yep, Darth Vader's Luke's father. Bam, I knew it. Like, you don't just instantly know the plot of the story right at the beginning of the book. That's just impossible. That does not happen unless you're just reading a really weird looking book. But it's the same thing with the charts. You don't have context in the first 5, 10, 20 minutes. You don't have anything, right? So you got to think about it in terms of, like, how much do I really have in front of me? How much context is really here? Not much. We know to be bearish from here and here. We know to be bullish over this. That's about it. But how much time has gone on today? It's been just under 10 minutes. So has it really been long enough for us to sit here and be like, oh, yep, I'm going to start taking my trades now? No, it's not. It's not even been long enough. You have all day to trade. There's no point to jump the gun so quickly in the morning. I think the more patient you guys are, the more you'll start to realize within the first 2 hours is when the best trades are, not the first 10 minutes. It's all guessing in the first 20. So right now, there's people just blindly buying puts right now. Like, yes, we do have a good rejection against that level that we're bearish against. I get that. But should you just randomly be buying puts just because you want to feel that euphoric feeling of, oh my god, it's dumping, it's going the way I want, I'm making a lot of money? No, you don't want to be a guessing, weird, lucky trader. You don't want that weird, hesitant feeling inside of you like, did I actually do that right? Or, was that me or was that luck? You want to know for sure that it was you, not that it was luck. Yeah, Tesla's on crack. That's wild. Apple was trying to copy them, and they were like, "Nah, just kidding." Close back under the very next scandal. Triple Qs are having problems deciding what direction they want to go. Because first 5 minutes they were down, now they're working back up again. IWM was doing the same thing. They were actually trying to hold under the lows of 199. They're holding hammers back to back, and a green candle holding higher. So small caps also looking like they want to go smack at least that 199.82 area. And SPY, just still right around today's open. Nothing to really go off there. Tesla pump, yeah, Tesla's on crack. I don't say that about many stocks. Let's go to the swing chart. This is what I had on it. So they're still inside of this supply from that weekly watch list post. I posted, I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before. Maybe it was last week. But Tesla was one of the ones I put in there. And it was just because of this. It was just because it's holding its demand and its supply still. But it's been many, many sessions since then. I think it was after this week started. And all they've done is hold this gap fill, it looks like. Showed some buyer presence. Built a little bit of a higher low with an inside bar. Worked back higher, and now they're really testing that supply. So we'll see if they're just showing a hand, and they're just gonna go smack the top of this and reject and hold in range for a lot longer, which is very Tesla-like, or they gonna close over 194, work over 194 over the next couple days, and then probably see a breakout, that ends up being over 200. Because if it closes over this, it begs the question that, what is this, 166 to 194? It's like $28, so $14. Yeah, so it could go to 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It could go to 208, 207.50 to 208 from here by a calculated breakout. You take the range, you split it in half. It's a $28 range. You split it in half, it's $14. You add $14 to the top and $14 to the bottom, and that tells you about the furthest extent that a breakout should go on its first attempt. So if it breaks over this, it should go to 207.50, 208. If it breaks under this, it should go down, $7 to $14 a share. But that's if it gets the breakout, so we'll see. Just thinking ahead of time before it happens. I think I'm going to take off this stuff now. Let's just watch the chart by itself with levels now. Kind of tired of looking at the other one. There we go. A little cleaner. Kind of annoying because I'm trying to show the levels further down too. There we go. In a way, TradingView is better than Thinkorswim in that aspect. You can move your chart a little bit better, in my opinion, and leave it set that way instead of me having to constantly come back here and readjust it. If you're in premium or lifetime this morning, I posted, AMD and Boeing again. I just basically fixed their levels like we did SPY and IWM for the normal chat. I just reposted them. So if you guys have that channel, please check that out. I always try to post the side watches that I'm trying to trade in premium chat just because I know everybody in there is not just watching just SPY. I know a lot of the people in there are watching a bunch of different things. And here in the next 16 minutes at 9 o'clock, we'll do our sector checkup. We'll just go through every top sector for the most part. But right now, guys, we are still just showing bearish rejection of a good bearish level right now. So basically, this isn't looking good for bulls as long as we are under 544. Just in short, trying to keep it super simple. That's basically what we're seeing here. Just not liking that selling pressure that is just still under 544. But again, any push that gets over that can definitely work towards the previous day close, previous day high area. So just keeping that in mind as well. Good morning, Carter. And just a reminder again, SPY and IWM are posted in the levels channel. If you're in premium, AMD and Boeing are posted. And if you're in lifetime chat, I would 3 billion% check out the swing trading channel. It's pretty cool how many members have access to posting their ideas in there. But it's not just for like, oh, hey guys, take this trade with me. I think it's also really cool to go back and review because there's been a lot of swing trades posted by many people in there. And it's just fun to review. You can review the ones that worked. You can review the ones that didn't work. Get a good understanding of what everyone's looking for, why they like a certain thing, or why they might like a certain chart. Still looking for that close over 544. They are working back over today's open for a third time. This will be the first time they've closed over, though, if they close over here. Tesla's like, come on, market, please break out. I'm the only thing going up, please. Apple's up a very good amount. We got to give them credit. Microsoft's a little weak. Amazon working up. That's a good sign because it's helping Tesla. Nvidia, green. Okay, it's not hurting us. Google is red today. We'll see if they end up holding it or not. If they can hold today's open, that's a good sign from Google and the XLC sector. What is Meta doing? They're trying to work up. So that's what Google needs to look like. If they want to, keep not hurting the market. Netflix doing great for the XLC sector. Okay, so most weights are actually holding pretty well from where they are right now. Most weights. Some weights look like crap. Like oil looks like crap, energy looks like crap, the banks look like crap. Comms are somewhat weak, even though they don't look as bad, like, on the chart. Tech really isn't up that much. We really need to see tech pick it up a little more. We need to see discretionary keep holding. So those are doing fine, but we need to see the rest of these slow down or work back up. To show SPY a stronger hand. Like, if those can start working back up, SPY can get a lot bigger of a candle close here. That'd be really good for SPY buyers. They're just not seeing it. It's like we have like 1, 2, 3, like 4, 5 things that are out of the top weights moving. Everything else is either red or sitting flat. If anything else can help out, definitely get some bigger candles to the upside. If any of those charts that are breaking out start to slow down and everything else that's red stays red, that can definitely help bring us back down again towards yesterday's lows, sorry. So we'll see if that ends up happening or not. But those are the two main situations in front of us. At least we're aware of what the hell's going on. If you guys have any updates, feel free to drop them either in TradeFloor on the Discord or type them in the YouTube stream chat. I'm reading both, so. Yeah, not a huge piece of news there. That's for sure. Remember, a lot of the bigger news is happening towards the end of this week. Tomorrow and Friday, a lot of the bigger news is going to be coming out, which kind of lines up with how the price action is acting this week, which, again, like yesterday, we didn't want to blame that on that because we just don't like to do that. But maybe that is the reason this week. Maybe we just really are not going to get some bigger movement until Thursday or Friday. But today could still get some movement. I don't like to be the person who's sitting here like, news is going to stop us from trading, blah, blah, blah. That's just stupid. You don't want to have a closed-off mindset when you're taking these trades. Ooh, they're trying to push 544. The next week is heavy on news. We have FOMC Wednesday. Good update by Cody. Thank you for saying that. D-Touch said Moderna dead. Good. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. How is everybody? It's Tuesday now. Or no, it's Wednesday, isn't it? I forgot I didn't stream Monday. It's Wednesday now. How's everyone doing? And they did actually get the close over on that candle just now, guys. So buyers do have a little bit of validation to move up towards that previous day close, previous day high area. Buyers are a little bit more valid now. Good morning, VC. Sorry, was just posting an update in trade floor. I know my typing's pretty damn loud. Now I gotta check AMD. Nothing happening there. And Boeing. They're still rejecting away from a very good level here. End of day yesterday. Pushing under the next level just now. Very good for BA. Bears, that is. They just need that push under previous day low. For more bearish continuation. Any pop over this, it can definitely ruin any trades happening right now on that chart. Tesla still chilling around the top of their supply at 194. We'll see if they surpass that or not, or if that's just going to be the end of their rally today. Apple looking a lot better. I don't see any of the ones that were going up start to get weak right now. None of them are really showing that yet. So nothing crazy to fear yet. Where's coin at? Oh, coin's in a buyer area. Okay. So they're probably going to have more green days and red days the next couple weeks. At least from here. And they're up $10 from that bounce. That is crazy. Like, that doesn't look like a big bounce. But from here to here, that is $10. That's crazy. Opportunity is really everywhere. Really big move now on SPY ever since that close over 544. They're already up really close to the previous day close and previous day high supply. Again, this area that's highlighted just basically comes from the high of previous day to the open of the last green candle before the reversal back down. End of day. And this just marks off a little top cap. We like to use the supply. Got our demand back here from 2 days ago. So no need to update it yet. Bears looking good in the first 15 minutes. But again, that's why I like to talk to you guys about having context. It's just like, I just don't see the point in trading the first 20 minutes. Like, you have no context. It's like I said, it's like reading a book in the beginning and being that weirdo that's like, I know the ending. Like, no, you don't. You're just guessing. That's what you would be doing if you were trading here at the beginning of the market open. You're just guessing. And this is exactly why. Even if it looks good, even if it looks like it's going to just fall through the floor, even if it looks like it's going to pump, you know, it's just, I just don't see the point in trading those first 20 minutes. Just get information first. It'll give you so much better probability. Now you have that context of like, all right, well, we look like we were going to reject and then we closed over. So now you know there is a lot of action happening around 544. SPY closed over previous day control point, looking more like a higher low now. Good call out by Garden. Carter said, being patient this morning. Nothing great so far. Feels like a storytelling morning. Yeah, I am kind of talking a lot, but I swear to God, it's just to stop you guys from trading more. I saw a lot of problems with over trading, so I wanted to help out with that. I feel like when I'm rambling in y'all's ears, y'all are forced to not trade as much. Which again, I do not actually hold any control. CMG split? That's disgusting. Isn't that Chipotle? CMG Chipotle? You'd be surprised how many people are like really confused about CMG's price. So I'm kind of happy that they're finally having a split. I mean, for years, people have been like, "Why is the price so high? 50 to 1? Yeah, that's not a surprise. I'm surprised it wasn't more." Good for them though. Glad we're finally seeing that one divided. So that's crazy. I know it's not just dividing, but that's just the number was really confusing a lot of people. They'd be like, "How is Apple like 200 something? But how is Chipotle this?" With the craziest price. I was just affirming your statement. No, I know I'm rambling a lot right now. That's good. Alright, remember guys, keep tabs on the things that were helping us go up. That is what is important right now. Okay, a lot of the ones that were weak either got worse or just stayed where they were. And then a lot of the ones that were going up are just chilling where they are, and some of them have even pulled back more. Apple was one of the ones I'm kind of referring to. Still holding a potential higher low here after the gap up. If we can get a good hold over that open here on Apple, that's a very good sign by one of the top weights in the market. We need Microsoft to look a lot better too. Now they were down a lot more earlier, so this is a very good sign they've gone up. But we still need some more from them before we can get. See, when I'm saying all this, I'm trying to line up all these weights, because when you line up all the weights, that means you really get big moves, like one directional moves. And that's what a lot of us like to trade, one directional moves, because it's quick, it makes sense. You're just in and you're out. Within 20 minutes, you're up a lot. And that's just because of the weights lining up. It has nothing to do with algo buying or whatever the hell people tell you online. It's weights lining up at the same time. That's it. Like I said before, it's just a big pie. These are a bunch of big slices that make up SPY. Looks like SPY is still holding positive at over 544. IWM, as bad as they were looking, they're even working back up. So remember earlier we were saying we're kind of bearish under this level, the previous day low, and bearish under this level if we get any kind of breaks or rejections of these two. So they're right up to that level. If they can get over this, bulls can look a lot more attractive towards that gap fill. So just keep that in mind too, not just the bearish rejection. Keep in mind that the buyer reaction is still possibly there. And triple Q's holding over previous day highs, so they're not doing anything wrong. So tech doing it good again, just like yesterday. They were the main good reason we had any buyers yesterday. Healthcare weak, banks weak, discretionary weak. Comms are trying to hold pretty well. Good morning to anybody who might have just now tuned in. We've just kind of been watching really SPY, the other ETFs like Triple Q and IWM to kind of get a gauge on everything, and then the weights. Here in a couple minutes, I'm going to go over these sectors just to kind of give us a better breakdown on what everything might be doing. Of course, we will never know the future, but we can at least get a better probability on what it might be doing. T-minus 1 day until I get the keys to my shop. Oh no, that's when hell breaks loose. We're seeing a break of 544. We're seeing a wicking up towards 544. We're seeing a lot of indecision around it right now. And they wicked up perfectly right before the candle closed. That's crazy. On the 5 minute at least. That's also your 9 o'clock closing there. So first 30 minutes of the day officially gone. But we have a lot more info now. We know that 544 is a very strong pivot point for both buyer and seller. We can also combine this area with today's open. So in a way, we're not just watching one level. We're kind of watching a whole little area here right now. We can actually move this arrow a little bit to right here. And you can duplicate this and pretty... Oh. I'm going to move these arrows because I'm not leaving these here. I'm just trying to give a brief kind of idea of what you're looking for. But that's kind of what we're looking for right now. $10. 5 days. Wait, which one is it? 1 day, 10 days, 5 days. Does this shop even exist? Jack's having like a schizophrenic episode. He's like thinking of something that doesn't even exist right now. 5 days. Okay. You're like so excited you can't even remember how many days. You're like 1, 10, 5. That's funny. So remember guys, we're looking for either bullish candlesticks to hold this or bearish candlesticks to break this. Who has all gone through that handbook? I actually want to know for real, like who's actually gone through it. It's okay if you haven't. You have plenty of time ahead of you. But how many of you have gone through it? It's a free handbook. If you're a member of this channel, if you're a member of the Discord to any extent, doesn't matter if you're paying or not, you have access to this handbook. Shut up, Ace. Did he really just type that? He said still working on workshop 11. We got issues then. Need to go through it still. Lots of studying to catch up. Prop Street said how many times. Yeah, like actually with how many times Ace has typed that, if he was actually doing it every single time, he's got to be close to breaking like 1,000 times watching that video. Like how many views does that video have? He's 10% of them. Not actually, but with how many times he said it, it makes you wonder. What's going on, Ace? How is everything with you, man? By the way, when I post my links on Twitter, that's all I'm doing. I'm not actually checking it, so I'm sorry that I'm not checking anybody's post on there, but I know a bunch of you guys are still on there. I'm just not checking that crap anymore. The man knows what he likes, yeah. Every time Ace has said that, I've always pictured him like having like a steak dinner with his like monitor, and then on the monitor's just Workshop 11 playing. It's like having a date with a video. Alright, right now they are still holding in a very bullish way. You got a nice doji, potential hammer holding. We have a couple minutes on that 5-minute candle. But let's check our sectors real quick. Tech looking very good on the intraday chart. Intraday, of course, meaning today. You can see yesterday we opened up, had a little bit of a dip, filled the gap, ended up holding, and we still have multiple higher lows building and new highs building. So we're just still holding a bullish trend as of that low. Healthcare, not looking too hot under 146.20s, 146.40s. They're actually looking very bearish under this right now. And that is the second largest sector, so that is important. Banks pushing away. They're actually making a new low as I'm talking. Discretionary looking very good, actually. They're holding the low that we thought they were losing, holding with a potential higher low right now. So potentially just seeing tech and discretionary work together right now. Comms started down, so that's why they look like crap, but they're actually working up very well. Within 20 minutes of today, we saw a push up and a hold of today's open, and now 15 minutes later on, we're seeing a continuation back up, and they're even pushing over the next level, which again, a lot of these levels you see on these sector charts are bigger time frame levels. So when you're seeing a break of these levels, it is very important. You can also see just the importance of it behind yesterday. You can see we pushed up to this point, pushed up, back above it, reset back above it. So we got a good retest, holding a good resistance, which is now bullish, and they push new highs. So the only thing that's really ruining this chart is the fact that it opened lower. But that would mean 3 of your top 5 sectors are actually trying to work up right now, despite all the red and green and, you know, all the... Oh, y'all can't even... Most of you can't even see that anyway. Never mind. Discord can see that. YouTube cannot. Remove drawing. I like the arrows in the beginning, but I don't like to leave them there that long because it's just too much shit on the chart. I like to keep it clean. But yeah, right now I guess we're just kind of saying short-term bulls have taken over. We just don't have any just clear one-directional movement, and that's because of sectors not working together. We have healthcare, banks not helping us at all. We have comms down. So, really just looking for a one-directional movement now. You already have bulls in control short-term. And we have an area to be bullish or bearish around. So if this holds, we're bullish. If this breaks, we're bearish. Simple as that. Now what we need to see as well, though, is what do they do when they get up here? Because this is supply. This is essentially short-term bearish. We need to see them push over this if we're going to remain one-directional bullish. So, also looking for a reaction right here. You can see it's clear skies above that towards 540, 640. Hopefully some of today's explanations on levels and just the context of things helps you guys out in the future for just direction. Again, you're never going to ever know the direction of where price is going ahead of time, but you can definitely get a good grip on where it may be going. With reason, too, not just making shit up and you're like, oh, I think it's going to do this. No, like actually having a reason. And talk out loud to yourself, explain to yourself. Of course, if you need to check on what news is happening today, you can also check out the daily updates channel in Discord. Eric posts this stuff every single day, and today's pretty much one of the lightest days today. We have oil news coming out in about 23 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 23 minutes. But that's really the fullest extent of today's news. There really isn't much happening today. In terms of that. Now tomorrow and Friday there is going to be a lot bigger news coming out, so be very careful for more volatile price action, meaning more indecisive, more crazy feeling price action, which is actually good for us because a lot of us in here like to scalp. So we'll be looking for some quick good moves Thursday. And then Friday we have the lifetime stream, so I'm going to be privately streaming to them. We're going to be going through the candlestick handbook, which if you are a lifetime member and you're not there live, it's okay. It will be recorded and saved for you after. Microsoft looks like it could be going higher. Good call out, Jack. Oh, yep, they flipped green. My bad, didn't even see that. Good call out. Yep, and now we have a lot of our top weights actually green right now, which is good. A lot of these are not perfectly in order, but a lot of these are the top weights of SPY. So if you see like half this list is green, that's a very good sign for the market. I wouldn't say half of it is green right now, though. I would just say the more important part of it is green right now. If I had to word it exactly. A bunch of important middleweights just still red. XLC still kind of stinging on that 0.23 I talked about earlier. It broke previous day high. Good call out, Jack. And good job, everybody. Just kind of, and it's not about like, oh, we called this out. Like, no, it's not about that. It's just, it's good to be able to explain to yourself where should you be bullish from, where should you be bearish from. I mean, we got an all right move there. We didn't get anything crazy. And we're just still kind of under that supply. We didn't even get to touch it to see what reaction we were going to get.
So buyers are still hesitant even after holding over 544. And I think, again, it just kind of refers back to that weakness in other sectors. I don't think it's really the market's fault. I think it's just not everything is in line right now. So I think we're just waiting to see when they finally line up together. And then we'll get some more one-directional movements. We get a lot of bigger candles. But that's really what we're waiting for right now. We already know what control is and where it is. Didn't get filled in SPX calls, but that was an awesome analysis. Congrats if anyone caught them. What's up, Arcadia? How you doing, man? And yeah, unlucky on that, but whatever. We got to review. Like, talking out loud to yourself, reviewing this stuff, giving yourself context, this will always be more important than taking a trade, in my opinion, because, I mean, you're explaining everything to yourself, really, and it's, I don't know, it's just kind of nice. I feel like it leads into making better decisions. And now look at all of you. It's been 40 minutes. And if you're someone who hasn't taken a trade, you have all the time in the world today. And there is plenty of context for us to go off of good areas now. Now you have a lot better information in front of you instead of just like, oh, there's a red candle at a level. It's like, what? It's been 10 minutes, man. Good to be patient. You should be happy that you're being patient. You should be empowered when you're being patient. You should feel like you're about to take the best trade of your life when you're being patient. Apple trying for more too, like you said, could be a good sign the rest of the market wants to follow. We'll see. They definitely got to stay in line. I think this needs another like 20 minutes and you'll get a better one-directional move. It's just a grind up right now. It's like I don't know, it just feels like we started lower and we're just working up. That's all it is so far. This feels so like normal. Like nothing weird's happening. Nothing crazy's happened yet. If we can get a second showing of a hold over that 544, that would be so ultimately bullish, it's insane. But if not, we end up cracking that. We end up losing today's open. There's a good chance we're going to be fading under for a new low of day. But we'll see. Again, I always like to have those plans set way ahead of time. So now I can actually give myself a chance of taking a trade. So you guys got to do the same thing to yourself. You got to break down the chart in front of you and break down where am I taking trades from? Or where am I wanting to take trades from? Good post by John. He said, SPY 5-minute doji rejecting the previous day high, previous day close resistance zone. Good post. And yeah, it's not perfectly at it, but it's just under. I kind of see it as more of like a reset candle more than a rejecting candle, though. Dojis are very 50-50. Because all it takes is, you know, that follow-up candle to really give you that bias. And yeah, after 10:30ish my time, so like an hour and 17 minutes, we'll be just charting a bunch. We're going to go over some swing trading charts, some day trading charts, just kind of going over stuff, going over levels, and then, yeah, really just cleaning up our chart, doing some maintenance. And then, yeah, I wanted to make sure I did that with you guys or in front of you guys so we at least did it together. But how was everyone this morning? It's been almost 45 minutes here in the stream, as well as on the market. But how was everybody? We've gone over a pretty good amount of game plans right at the open. Kind of just went over a bunch of stuff. Rambled for the first 40 minutes of the stream. But glad to be here. Glad to go over stuff. But how was everyone this morning? You read I drew mine wrong last night. No, that's awesome, John. Thank you for... I always appreciate your updates. Regardless of, like, you know, charting something wrong or right, that doesn't matter to me. I'm just happy you're here updating. I mean, it does matter to me, but you're the one who's fixing it, so, you know, there's no need to, like, sit here and get on to anybody. We're all in the same process. What the hell is lightning talk? Explore a retrieval augmented generation base search and summarization tool hosted on AWS. NVIDIA Morpheus. If anybody's interested, D-Touch shared some stuff that's going to be happening today for NVIDIA. If you're in the trade floor, you can check out the news. The little schedule he posted. About to get ready for dinner, hoping you catch a good opportunity. Nice, what's for dinner? And right now we're just still seeing us hold. Not a perfect gap fill here on SPY, but they're very close to it in terms of reaching that previous day close where the gap down occurred from overnight. Flavored rice. That sounds good, honestly. Nothing wrong with rice. So we'll see. Does the bullish price action continue and we see a good push over previous day close and previous day highs for another breakout? Or does the fun end here pretty soon against this area and we end up pulling back down under today's open in this highlighted area? Again, we know what's up and what's down because we've gone over the sectors multiple times. Tech was a main reason we were moving up alongside discretionary. You guys saw the Tesla breakout and Amazon working with them. So these are kind of the two main reasons we're even seeing some buying. This would be the main reason right now at this exact moment. A couple sectors that are weak, of course, are healthcare, banks. We even saw comms were experiencing a lot lower of an open than most other sectors. But you can see they've worked up a lot of that. So some of what to blame on this move up so far, if you want to say blame or credit, would be the moving up of discretionary, comms, and tech at the exact same time. But you have tech slowing down right now, and you still have a couple of those weak sectors failing. So we're still very mixed in terms of top sectors that make up the SPY chart. So anybody looking at SPX or SPY, you need to be focused on the sectors. I don't care about pretty much anything else in terms of our system. So basically what we're waiting to see is, do the sectors that are green keep holding and keep working up? Do they help pick back up the sectors that are weak and we see them move up together? Or do we start to see the sectors that were moving up start to become weak and then move down alongside the sectors that were also failing? That is what's going to bring your big green or big red move of the day. But if we don't get either of those scenarios, you're going to get a lot of mixed price action. But that's a very good, easy way of clicking on and saying, okay, should be more one directional right now, or okay, we're not as one directional right now. It's just a good way of knowing, should we be moving a lot right now. Apple still grinding, Microsoft on a pullback. Good updates by Jacko. And it's just good to know about what those are doing, because those are just huge weights of the market regardless. Regardless of being tech related or not, those are just huge weights. Made that little doji. Worked back up with the hammer. No new high of day after that. Kind of pushing away from that right now. Nothing super fast, but definitely not making a new high right there so far in those first 10 minutes after making that doji. Let me actually show you what I'm talking about, what I'm looking at. This hammer here, very good sign for buyers. This not making a new high, not really a good sign. So now we're kind of just waiting to see what does this do. Also, a pretty good time to check your 30-minute now that you have multiple candles there, and in 10 minutes you'll have a third. Or a second, sorry. I can't count. So you have your first 30-minute candle. It's just, you know, a basic buyer candle. And now we have our second. But you'll have 9 more minutes, and this will close, and you'll get to see a little bit more. I always like to check on the 30 every, you know, so often. It's just a very stable price action time frame. Honestly, any time frame is about as long as you just stick with it. I don't think it's healthy to check 50 different time frames, but if you're, you know, over here clicking through just a couple and kind of going down the time frames to kind of get an idea of what's happening, I don't think anything wrong with that. Just don't be the person who's like, I use the 10, the 15, the 30, and the 5. Like, what? You're using all 4? I don't know about that. There's just no way you're actually paying attention or able to understand what you're focused on. There's just too much to look at. But I get the whole process of working down the time frames because you get a good idea of the storytelling, kind of. But you definitely want to be realistic in how you're looking at your time frames. Still getting that wick action to the upside. Let's see, did we get a perfect test finally of the previous day close and the previous day high? Are we actually going to get a better test of that on SPY as well? I believe Julian said they already filled the gap on SPX, so. And those aren't always going to be in the exact same spot. And of course, I'm definitely going to be watching SPY a lot more. But it is good to know that there is a difference between them. Nah, bro, I use the 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 30 hour gets. Yeah, it's like, what? I love when people say that too, because it's like, oh, okay, so you don't actually trade, but like I just take them as a joke right there. It's like you're not actually trading. Awesome, good for you. All right, giving us a better test finally. Now we can actually say we're touching it. Because now they've actually hit previous day close. You guys can officially say that the gap fill has filled on SPY. Because we opened lower, and now we've smacked previous day close, which is where we gapped down from overnight. So we have officially... Do you look at EMAs? Haven't seen it anywhere and wanted to check it out. Are you memeing me right now, Dr. J? Are you memeing me? Before I was a price action trader, I was an EMA trader. And then I realized price action can be used with EMAs. There's no, you know, it's kind of like a weird mindset when you're starting out, but you get into this thing where you're like, I don't use price action, I only use EMAs. And then you get into price action, you're like, fuck EMAs, I only use price action. It's like, wait, you can use both, you know? But go to playlist, if you are joking with me, or if you're not joking with me, I should say. And go to, it's one of my first playlists actually, Swing Trading Videos. So you can actually check this out. And there's a lot of EMA breakdowns in this stuff. I also go over it for some day trading, but it was mainly something I would use for swing trading, and you could definitely check this out. And we still, to this day, talk about our charts like this in our lifetime section, where we post a lot of our swing trading. So you can check all this out. There's also if you type Moustache bot, like you're from England, Moustache, and then you click on this one. This actually used to be me as well, and this has the same thing. So if you'd love to go over EMAs, looking at just price action in general and how to read patterns with EMAs, please check this video, check all these videos out, or just check whichever one you want out. There's also bigger ones. A lot of the bigger ones end up giving you better breakdowns. Actually, I believe it's this one. It's a 50-minute video, but this video is a perfect template for what you're probably looking for. This teaches you exactly how to look at candlestick patterns, price action, with EMAs, how to use them. There's an order to things. If you've ever been to my main channel here, let me click it again. We have videos on here called Order of Operations, and this is just basically teaching everybody using price action how to do things in the right order. There is a correct order to do things. Like when you're doing mathematical equations. Yeah, you could do it 50 different ways and you'll get 50 different answers, but there's only one way to do it correctly. That's exactly how it is with price action and all this stuff. So definitely check that out if you're interested in EMA trading, but that is definitely something I've been a part of for a very long time now. I was around before the 9 EMA and 8 EMA were even popular. I don't really like to bring that out because it's just kind of like, it sounds weird or egotistical to say it like that. But it's true. I was around before a lot of the EMA trading was even popular. Everybody nowadays uses the 9, the 21, the 50, the 100, the 200. I'm not joking. Like, everybody who uses EMAs uses those now. But 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that was not something you saw everybody do. In terms of, like, you know, using it for your trades every single day, every single time you took a trade. Nowadays, though, I feel like that's all I would see is those exact EMAs used. So the system itself works, and the kind of like way of thinking works if you want to go review it yourself. But I don't know, I've kind of moved on past that for day trading itself. But for swing trading, I believe it's still one of the most powerful ways to trade. Again, candlestick patterns alongside EMAs. Mansion and Benz's FEMAs and price action, I just guess. There's nothing wrong with that either. Comment of the day. Look at that reaction. Ever since we hit the previous day close in that previous candle, they have really brought things down. Let's go check out that 1 minute. I just sometimes like to look at this because you get some really cool, quick price action that you could just kind of review for scalps. So it's kind of cool that we didn't just go smack previous day close. We also produced an inverted hammer and worked back down instantly. So it wasn't just a big red move that came out of nowhere. There was a bearish candlestick there at a good spot. It's just cool to review that. So now the question is, do they give us a higher low here on the 1 minute and work back up holding this, or does this become the start of a breakdown to the downside? Because this is a pivot point. Remember that. Buyer and seller can really just battle that out right there. You bought some puts at 5:30 and sold at 6:40. Great job, VC. Round of applause for VC guys in the YouTube chat. He said he's going to go for dinner now. Good stuff. Good jump on that, too. And that's a really big thing I'm an advocate of in this group, is not doing shit for you. Like, yeah, we're going to stream here together. We're going to talk trades through together. We're going to go over stuff together. But I'm not here to trade for you. And many people in here are already on that mindset. And I love that, because a lot of you guys are just your own leader. And that's what you need to be a decent trader. I'm not going to say a good trader, because, you know, I feel like that's, you know, perspective. But really nice move there, though. They really went all the way down to that next area below right here. Almost to the cent. I saw the VIX futures update. I just saw that. And when they did go under this area right here, they are going to touch today's open. They even went under it for a quick moment there. Very quick pullback after filling the overnight gap. go see what weights are still holding, which ones are not. Because if we're getting a quick move like that, that means a lot of weights are doing the same thing at the same time. So we got a quick move down by Apple. Microsoft filled gap. They're also struggling with their previous day close. Amazon still going up. Nvidia, very quick pullback. Not helping AMD. SMCI. Actually, they didn't pull back as bad as the other two. Google pulled back in that same 5-minute span. Tesla pulled back in that same 5-minute span. Meta pulled back in that same 5-minute span. So, again, like we talked about earlier, a lot of the time when you get one directional moves, it's because a lot of sectors are moving at the exact same time. And you can see XLK, largest sector. XLV, second largest sector. They're still red. Red. Very nice red move. So I think that's all we just witnessed right there. It was just a lot of things moving in the same direction at the same exact time. And it's, of course, perfectly happening after we smacked the previous day close. So really just good timing. It's just a natural piece of price action right there. Is it always going to do that in one candle? No. But I think it is very normal for us to go smack after having such a way of, you know, opening lower, working itself up. It's not like it fell through today's open either. It just went to perfectly test it. So I don't know. This feels really natural right now. I don't feel anything out of the norm. And if anybody's confused on why this is like natural price action, please ask, because this is all pretty normal. Nothing crazy here. Might not be amazing with timing or anything, but it's all normal price action. Julian said, dang, look at that hammer candle on the golden pocket fib from today's low to high on SPY. And yeah, just getting a nice buyer to show up here, which another normal piece of price action I feel like is going to happen after you get such a quick drop like that. People thinking it's a discount buy. So we'll see. If it's truly a discount buy, they will definitely hold on to 543.69 and 544 and work back up. If not, and this is definitely going to be some bearish continuation under today's open, you're going to see a break of 543.69. And we'll see. Do they end up giving us that new low of day? Right now, we're definitely just seeing a gap down. The buyers that worked up already got deleted. So, I mean, I feel like it's 2-1 bears right now. Bears are winning 2-1. The only difference is that we're holding over today's open, and that's why it feels that way. That's why it feels like we're so much more bullish still, because we're still holding a very good level. But I would still like to bring y'all's attention to watching the things that were up. Tech was up. They are now not up at all, and they're actually failing under today's open right now. The only thing that's even up right now is discretionary, and I think a lot of that goes into the fact that Tesla is not just killing it, but Amazon's not fighting against them either. And I also believe a lot of their counterparts are working with them as well. Okay, McDonald's isn't neither. Okay, never mind, I lied. McDonald's and Nike aren't helping them at all. I thought they were green. But Tesla and Amazon are outweighing them by a lot. It's been an hour and 4 minutes into the market. In about an hour or so from now, I'll be going over a lot of just levels, just kind of cleaning up a lot of chart, really just doing a lot of chart maintenance on charts I don't have ready or need to re-prepare, either for myself or for chat. So we'll be doing that in about an hour or so. We'll probably start with Triple Q and SPX, and then I need to redo a couple of my bigger individual equity weights. Like I think I need to fix Microsoft, Apple, I did NVIDIA on my own. AMD's done. SMCI is fine. I don't really care about messing with Google's levels. I just kind of watch their candles. Tesla, I redid that one. So we'll do a bunch of different weights. We'll go through a bunch. Right now, buyers are holding back above 544. Good sign by them, especially after hitting today's open. That's a very good sign for them short term, but not really taking a big portion of that red candle. I always like to take into the account how big is that candle. See how big that red candle is and how much of it have we retaken. I try to think about it like that as well. So if we can retake 50% of that candle, that would be a very good thing for buyers. If we end up cracking under and just kind of showing more bearish pressure at that exact same 50% spot, then it just again shows us that this might actually be a bearish retest, but it just looks awkward because we haven't broken today's open yet. But that is what you're looking for. What portion of that red candle are we at? Because you are holding a buyer area right now, but it definitely just feels weird. BA is green again. Wow. Are there any hot takes by anybody this week? I know last week we had, or a couple weeks ago, we had somebody saying Carvana was going to go up, and then it did. That was a hot take. Do we have any more hot takes on any random stocks that nobody's talking about? When I say hot take, I mean like something nobody else is saying. Which play has better reward, gap fill or reversal of gap fill? I guess it depends on how big your gap is. In terms of today, I would just say reverse. Probably the gap fill would probably have paid pretty well. But I don't know. It kind of depends because like saying reversal of gap fill, like what do you mean by that? Do you mean like the first time it touches and falls? Do you mean when you get a lower high retest and you would actually take that trade? Because we don't know every time if that's going to fall and make a new low or if that's just going to fall and hit the next level and then work back up. So risk reward, I feel like they're the same trade. That's just my thought process, at least. Man, Thinkorswim should have some like sound effects. Whenever you get like big drops or something, like a 0.2% drop, you should be able to add like a sound effect to like trigger. Oh, you said in terms of IV percentage, since dropping is way faster. I'd have to backtest that, but again, risk reward wise, just outside of the box, not thinking about IV, they're the exact same trade in terms of risk reward. In terms of IV, you're probably right on that. Because yes, drops are a little faster, but that's not the case every time. So it's really not fair to say that either. Because yes, drops are faster, but not the case every single time. We've definitely seen our fair share of gap fills get filled within 2 candles, and vice versa, reversals of them happening within a candle or 2. So I don't know. I feel like it's a case by case scenario. It just depends where are you at on the chart, what gap is it. But that'd be a pretty cool thing to test out. Because those are some of my favorite trades. Are like trades around today's open, current day open. That's by far my favorite thing to trade around. But also gap fills, because what happens every time, guys? What's so cool about gap fills or trading around today's open? Does anybody know why those are my favorite? I know some of you have favorites in them too, because well, I don't want to say why yet. I want to see some answers first, and then we'll talk about it more. And guys, it's been a little bit over an hour since the open. Please be sure to stand up or something real quick. Go walk around for like 2 minutes. Go grab a water. Please get your blood flowing. Don't just sit there. Cody said price has to go to them. That's like 85% correct. And with what I was thinking. That is very, very spot on. Does anybody else have any other reasons why today's open and gap fills might be 2 of my favorite places to try and take trades? And you'll see it too. You could literally take me for my word and go to my channel and call me out on it. You can literally go to my YouTube, go to playlist, And you can literally watch full-on playlist of me taking live trades, whether they were recorded, whether they were live, whether they were done afterwards. I have them all. Go check them out. A lot of my trades are taken around today's open, and there's a reason for that. Let's see some other guesses besides Cody, though. God, every time I see Pokemaster Cody, it's like actually such a great name. Good morning, rollout. D-Touch put oil inventory. John put, we have too much oil? Alright, my bad, guys. I was like reading. They broke down under 544 again, and they're trying to reject away from it. So this might be actually what ends up being the nail in the coffin before they break today's open. It might even give us a new low day. Alright, so no other guesses besides Cody. Good to see that Cody is listening. The reason that we like to trade around today's open, or I like to trade around today's opening gap fills, is mostly what Cody just said, because price does usually have to go around them most of the time. If you historically look, I think it's like 91.8% or 91.6% or something like that, that all gaps get filled, or all gaps get at least like moved through, like pushed through and maybe not filled, but at least they tried, over 90% of the time. So that's almost absolute. And then today's open. This is something that is used pretty much every single day, and this is tested by back testing. You go back and you just review. That's what back testing is. It's a big fancy word for saying I went back and looked. So that's all you gotta do. Go back and look. What areas do you see get tested the most? And when I was back testing, I would see gaps, one, statistically always get filled or at least worked through. Again, breaking them and maybe not filling them, but at least you see a chance of them, and you could use a fib to see the in-between hidden levels, all that good stuff. But the cool thing about that is that, again, it's like absolute. It's almost always going to get worked with. You're almost always going to see price action around it. You're almost always going to get something there. So it's very active. And that's what I like about it. It's very active. So I'm almost always given an opportunity there, regardless of it being the first 10 minutes or the first 2 hours of the day. It doesn't matter. I'm almost always going to get something around one of those two areas. So I like to limit myself. Now, yes, you can take trades off pre-market high. You can take trades off pre-market low, previous day high, previous day low, current day open, previous day close. I don't care where you're taking your trades off of. Maybe you're just taking supply and demand trades. Maybe you're just focused on fair value gaps. Maybe you're just focused on this. Maybe you're just focused on that. I don't care. Focus on that and stick to it. Yes, there is a million things that you can trade off of, but you can limit yourself. You have the decision, and you should have the control by now if you've been trading long enough to understand that you can limit yourself to just those certain types of trades. So yes, you are aware of that you can take trades off of this level or that level. You know that. You've studied it. But you don't have to do it every single time you see it. Why don't you limit yourself to certain levels that you know are going to be worked with a lot? And that's why you see that in a lot of my trading videos. I'm almost always trading around today's open, or I'm a part of the gap fill to some extent, or I'm playing the gap fill reversal. Maybe I don't like how, here we'll use a fib as an example for today's, you go from previous day close down to today's open. Maybe I'm just focused on these fibs. Maybe I'm like, I'm only taking calls if it goes above, and I'll take some profits into this, and if it goes further, I take more calls. If maybe I waited the first hour of the day, and I'm like, I slept in. I get here, I see it broke back down under the fib. Now I'm looking to take puts under this area, or if it breaks back above it, I'm getting out. You know, just having simple plans around a couple areas that you're always trading around. Like, seriously, try to get good at one type of trade over and over again. You're not going to see that type of trade happen every single day, every single week. But that's why we try to focus on the more active areas, because I'm definitely going to see that happen almost every single day. And then limit myself to it. If I can get really good at taking trades around today's open, I can at least be confident in one of the 50 different levels that I know how to trade around. That'll be the one that I have the most confidence in. And do that. Seriously, go around and look around the levels. Backtest. Go back and look. People like to say backtest, backtest, backtest. It's really just a big fancy word for I went back and looked and tried to give myself confidence in something that I see a lot. That's all it is. Seriously, go back and look at what levels are you the most comfortable around. Those are just the ones I'm comfortable around. Maybe you're the same. Maybe you're not the same at all. Everyone's different. But find your niche, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Find your niche level that you're just in love with. Spy keeps wicking the open candle. No break yet. We are holding yesterday's open pretty well. Good call up by Cody there. And yeah, just as they were looking pretty ugly, man, they're actually trying to hold on to them now. So, again, seeing activity around today's open and the gap fill move. But I challenge you guys to find that level or that area of the chart that you just love to trade. And just stick to it. Limit yourself to it. Yes, there's 1,000 places you can trade on the chart, but you don't have to trade all of those 1,000 places. Got to call up my baby train. That's funny. Big L in the setup. Call entry on the hold of current day open target was pre-market high. Lower high pre-market levels and a doji candle. Doji candle could weaken increase value. I see what you went for. Okay. God, discretionary is really doing all they can. Discretionary is Amazon, Tesla, McDonald's, Nike, Home Depot. Everything else is like trying to just sit still, and they're like, no, we have to go up. Trying their best to bring this chart to life. Poor XLY all by itself. Oh, good post, Julian. My bad, bro. I just saw where you were posting at. Oh, you wait. I'm not that late. Never mind. I'm not sorry. Held trend line 2.5 above current. Nice. You're just playing level to level. I love it. Not letting anything hold you back. Yeah, I know. Gap fills happen like damn near 100% of the time. It's crazy. I don't remember today's statistic, but when I first started years ago, the statistic was like almost 92% of gaps get filled or worked with. And that's a lot. That's a pretty large dominant percentage. So if it's even more than that now, that's crazy. But either way, it just goes to show, it's a very active part of a chart. Pretty nice buy reaction after holding that open move there. They didn't just give us like one candle, they actually gave us a couple there. And they actually took back a pretty good percentage of that red candle there, which that is what I was looking for. Just to kind of show that the buyers are a little bit more present than, if they just put one candle like this and that was it, and then we just got a rejection there, like that's just a bearish rejection then of that candle. But this at least shows that they are fighting a little bit more. So you can definitely say buyers are a lot more present. Just because of the portion of the red candle they took. Pretty simple stuff. We like to keep it simple around here. As I said that, they're like wicking it still. My bad, Cody. Let me read this. Spies approaching high of 5 at 9 a.m. candle again. Look for a clean break of that to get back to the close of yesterday. Okay. So you're kind of explaining the same thing. Good. Yeah, that big ass red candle was pretty telling. Good looks, Cody. And Julian. A lot of good updates by you guys today. Julian, are you the same Julian who messaged me on Steam the other day? Are you that Julian? I'm assuming yes, because I don't think we have a second Julian, do we? Cool, I am inputs. What's up, Mel? Good morning, Mel. I'm always a little happy when I see your name pop up, man. Hope you're doing good. As I said, they're holding such a good portion of this red candle. They put it into the doji. Oh, it is you. Okay. Cool. I was making sure because I've had another Julian before, and I just wanted to make sure. I don't think I'd ever added him on Steam, but I had to triple check. But now I know. Nvidia, new low of day. So one of the stocks that were helping pull the market back down is still selling. Good call out by D-Touch. And that's just good to know. Even if you're not even trading Nvidia, that is good to know if you're looking at SPY. If you're looking at Triple Q. It's good to know what the bigger weights are doing. It's good to know what the top trending stocks are doing. Because even if you're not trading them, you know what the momentum is showing. Even with that Nvidia new low of day, we're still wicking back up on SPY. So something's moving us up very well. And here in a couple minutes, we'll go back and click through. It's most likely a discretionary weight or one of the tech weights that pulled back and is working back up. So I'd probably guess Apple or Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. It's probably one of those four. Again, because we have context on those. We know that they've been kicking ass today. I don't have to even go look at them instantly to know that. It's just nice having context. Damn. So even with NVIDIA new low of day, we're pushing back green on SPY. That's a really good sign. If we get some continuation, or if NVIDIA slows down and works back up, could actually see a new high of day on SPY. Looking for a lot more of a bearish play, though, if we end up seeing a crack under this highlighted area right here in between the screen. But in all honesty, all we've really seen is a gap down, gap fill. Most of the gap fill that was used, like when they moved up here, was lost within a single 5-minute candle. And what we're witnessing now is a little bit of support over today's open, and then working back to see, can we make it back to this, or is this high of day? This could be high of day for all we know. So just kind of reminding ourselves, what have we actually seen today? Good post by Cody in the what channel am I at? Trade Floor. I had to look. Y'all should check out Post Charts channel too. I know I tagged everyone in it this morning, but Garden Trader's been doing a very good job of posting just good morning briefing. Really, just kind of posting an overall game plan of everything. And I think that's really cool because it gives you a good non-biased view of everything. Then when the day starts, you're a little bit more prepared. But that Post Charts channel, definitely check that out if you want to check that out. That template she posted, very, very cool. I say template, but it's just how we post in here. Julian, are you talking about like with the Schwab updates and stuff? Cause yeah, I'm aware of all that. Is there any like problems with yours, or any problems, or do you like it, or how was everyone liking the Schwab update? Actually, I haven't really asked y'all that much. I know a couple like, but we had like 2 people have a problem with it like right at the beginning of it, but like ever since then it's been fine. Oh, you've always been allowed to do that, Julian. You've been able to open that there the whole time. I thought you meant with like how it looks a little like the colors. But yeah, how is everyone liking the Schwab update? Has anybody had any problems with it? Or are you guys... I mean, it's not like anything changed. It's really just aesthetics and how they put their name everywhere. But hopefully everybody's enjoyed the update on it. I haven't had any issues with it. It was pretty damn simple, actually. I was pretty impressed with how you just like click the sign-in thing, and then it was like, are you sure you want to use this, or would you like to change your login info, blah, blah, blah. And then you just clicked accept, and that was it. Done. Next thing you know, you're switched over, and Schwab's there. Schwab logos everywhere. But, yeah, I kind of liked it. I think I was, like, not really that excited, because this is something, like, this news of the Schwab thing was, like, around for a very long time. Like, this wasn't, like, a last-minute thing they randomly, like, whipped up on everybody. Like, it's been in the works for a very long time. People who have been on TOS for a while have been waiting for that. And some of the rollovers already happened like half a year ago. There were people in certain states, in the United States at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know in the United States there were certain parts of the country that already had the Schwab updates pretty early, which is pretty cool. Like, I think Leland was one of the first people in our chat to have the Schwab update, which is like wild. Because you would just think that would happen to everybody at once. And yeah, kind of falling under that category of day that we kind of thought this would be, just because of what kind of news week we have, with a lot of the meat of it happening tomorrow and Friday. And then, of course, I think Cody or Julian, one of you said it was happening Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So, just more news happening. But first hour and a half, nothing special. I mean, really just getting a lower open, a gap fill, a rejection of the gap fill, and now we're just in between really good pivot points. It's a very clean chart either way, but just not really getting much today so far. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like every day needs to have $10 of movement in it. It's fine. That's not new though. I've always had that. That's literally how I trade. I put my options chain at the bottom. Like I said, there's rollover updates. I think this is one of them. I can't believe people didn't have this. Yours just now got this? June? I see the note here. June 22nd. That's crazy. This has literally been on here for me and a couple people I used to mentor with for like half a year now. I thought everybody had this shit. That's crazy. Because that's like an advantage almost. Like, what the hell? Gap momentum. Why does this seem so weird? This is Melvin, founder of Thinks. Why is it like on a PDF format? That's a little sketchy looking. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looks normal, like it is legit, but it's just like weird that they would make it like that. That's kind of funny. This is like something a Discord owner would do. I know because I'm a Discord owner. That's funny. Well, that's cool. Well, there's some cool notes in the Stock Talk message chat. If anybody wants to look in there. Julian was kind enough to share some cool notes and updates on anything TOS related. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Actually, I would say my favorite one is this screen. When he shows the second one you sent. Green upticks / red downticks and monitor tab. This is something that has been asked of me the most by far, and I'm very glad to see this is actually on its own tab finally, because that was definitely not there. Display, show color, price ticks, position statement, and you can do a count. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think I saw somebody else mention that the other day too. That's very cool. Nvidia's still falling through the floor. That is not a good sign for the market, guys. We'll see if every other weight ends up holding against this or working up to kind of help keep the market up. But I don't know, man. That is not looking good. Semiconductors are all working down together. And if I know anything, I know that semiconductors are very telling in direction very quickly beforehand. Not every time, but a lot of the time. And also at the same time, I mean, if you just look at the chart plainly with how it is, you do technically have a lower high sitting under the low of, under the high of today at the previous day close rejection, the gap fill rejection, and we have our higher low sitting above today's open. So in a way, you do have a little bit of a squeeze kind of going on just between important levels. Even if you're not actually drawing these trend lines like this, you do technically have a squeeze going on between two very important areas. I would say very decisive areas. Areas that can lead to bigger moves. I feel like every time you see these like perfect symmetrical squeezes, these are the like when market makers see this stuff, they're like, ah ha ha, this is perfect. They end up doing breakouts to both sides, ruin liquidity for both sides, and then you get your more one directional movement, probably after lunchtime into power hour. Not every time you see that, but I'm just saying a lot of the time I feel like when big money sees that, they see a perfect opportunity to screw both sides. Not just one, not just the other, but both. Because one side will think, oh, they're going to reject here and then fall. Or one side will think, oh, they're going to pull back here, hold today's open again, and pump. But in reality, they could just do both and not actually give either one directional movement. End up getting a lot more liquidity. And this could just lead into a bigger power hour move. Which, again, that's fine too. I don't mind that. Miker said Nvidia go buy, money cycling into the Dow. Mention and Benzes is so right. That is comment of the day. You have another comment of the day. I don't know how you're doing it. You only speak in prophecy, and I love it. He says, the stock market hates us all equally. That is facts. I don't know where you came from, Mansion and Benzes, but you literally only speak facts. I only see you speak up when it's needed, and I like that. Oh. In about 30 minutes or so, guys, I'll start going over some levels and we'll start charting some stuff up. Like I said earlier, I wanted to do a little bit of chart maintenance today after the kind of bulk of the beginning of the stream. Might as well do it on stream, right? That needs to be on a t-shirt. Somebody needs to make me a t-shirt that says that. The stock market hates us all equally. I just realized I don't have music playing. Pretty rare that thing ends, I'm not gonna lie. That must be one of the first times the music playlist ever got to the end. Must have not reset it. That's probably boring as hell to listen to on YouTube. Sorry about that, guys. I got it fixed now. Oh yeah, I thought that was cool too, the sidebar. I've always wondered why that wasn't there, to be honest. They had, like, honestly, some really dumb things down here. Like, why can't I check the phase scores, but the option chain wasn't here? Like, that actually made no sense. Which, like, there's nothing wrong with this. But it was still just, like, I don't know. It's like, why do you have this, but you don't have the more important thing? That was definitely one of the coolest additions, was the fact you can click it so quickly now. And yeah, guys, it's been about an hour and a half since the market opened. Like I said earlier, definitely stand up, make sure your blood's, you know, flowing. Go grab a water, walk around for just like a minute. Like even just 30 seconds is something. But just like stand up or something. Don't be that person that like randomly gets like a blood clot in your leg or something because you don't ever get up. Like, get up and walk around. It's good to have your blood flowing. Real quick, I'm gonna go check to see if my dog's still alive, and then I'll be right back. And then, yeah, we'll talk about some more charts and stuff. Right now, it actually looks like they're trying to break down, but be very careful because, again, we've seen this earlier. They brought back down after the gap fill and no close under today's open. So just be very aware that today's open is a very strong level. If it doesn't break, it can ruin some of these bearish trades I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking at after seeing that lower high step in. So I'll be right back. Don't do anything stupid without me, and I'll be right back. Nice. I get back and they dumped it. Nice. I had a feeling a lot of you guys were either shorting it or just sitting out after seeing that lower high. And again, it kind of all relates back to context. I said it 4 times in here, at least. You know, what did we do today from today's open? Try to talk to yourself in that manner too. From today's open, what did we do? So we had that gap down, we worked up, and we got that gap fill, right? That's all we did. Hit that gap fill. What did we do from there? Pulled back, came back up, just kind of like maintained under that high right there, worked back down again. So now where are we looking? Here. Because we need to see, do we have control here? You know, we've broken it, but can we retest away from it? We failed to do so in the first 15 minutes today. It's a really good show of hands by buyers and also sellers, showing back up and maintaining that lower high under a very important area, and also breaking that support. But now we at least know what's next. Do you guys want me to stay on the 5 or do you want me on the 1? What time frame do y'all prefer right now? Ooh, Zaya, nice. You're orange. I'm orange. Let's go. Out of context, that sounds so funny. I said the 1 or the 5. He says the 4 minute, please. Nobody knows, 1 or 5? Alright, I'm just gonna stay on the 5 then. Just kidding, I'm going with the 1. Potentially seeing a midterm retest already under the 543.69 break. If you take a fib from the level break to the low of the move before your first buyer showed up, this is where you're looking for a potential bearish retest. Now, if they pop over this, then you cancel all that and you're looking for a full retest, because this would be the level in which they broke to get here. So you're looking here after that. But if that breaks, then you're just back to like, alright, I gotta wait for indecision to show that a higher low shows up, and then you can get into a buyer play. But no jumping the gun yet. But potentially seeing a midterm retest. I'm speaking too far into the future. Let's just talk about what's happening right now. And yeah, like I said earlier, for some cool notes on a lot of the updates on Thinkorswim, you guys can check out the message chat of the voice chat here on Stock Talk. There's like a little messaging thing in here. If you click that, you'll see Julian shared a lot of really cool info in there. I would definitely look past that. Look over all of it. Look past that. Look over all of that. Sorry, I was also reading Noxta's comment on the trade floor. Will the dump continue past low of day? Let's see if my theory becomes true again or not. Do they screw both sides and end up in the range anyway? Or do we actually get a good one-directional movement to the downside here soon? And seeing that fib already ruined, you could already delete it, but that is where you want to look for your midterm retest. Kind of cool that popped up perfectly there. Very strong show of hands after holding on the low. But do we get that better bearish rejection here at 543.69? Or are they going to give us a good push over? Which, again, this is the 1 minute. On the 5 minute, you have 4 more minutes before this next candle closes. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. What are some stocks that you guys are looking at right now, or any particular levels of something that you might be looking at? Yeah, I'm not really even looking for you guys to be like, I'm in calls or puts. I'm not even looking for that. I'm just, what are you looking at? do you guys have on your watch list? What do you have in front of you? Nvidia finally seeing some buyers after all that bleeding from high of day. 128 to 123 in a matter of minutes is crazy. SMCI is still falling off a cliff. They are now making a new fresh low under 817.60s right now. And they're already at 811.50. So from their high of day, they've dropped pretty heavily. 850 down to the 811s. Sheesh. Tesla still hanging around its highs after its massive move this morning. Oil still looks like crap. Looks like some of our banks and healthcare still look meh. Healthcare, banks. Banks are trying to recover off their lows, but still nothing special yet. Especially on their intraday. You're watching cruise lines to see if we get more movement today. Are you watching Carnival and Royal, or do you have others on watch as well? CCL and RCL, nice. Yeah, those are my favorite too as well. Actually, it's funny. I mean, Dylan's never here anymore, but Dylan was pretty funny, a funny character. But we would always sit in here and just like roast each other over stocks we liked. And he really loved the cruise lines right after COVID happened, and it was so funny because at first we were like making fun of each other and stuff, and it was funny because those actually ended up being really good choices right after COVID hit. Not right after, but after the initial dips in the market. I mean, not COVID itself, but just the dips. They gave amazing opportunities. They ended up getting incredible averages on them, and it was the funniest thing ever. But we always like talk crap about each other's stocks that we like. But he was a really, really big fan of CCL and RCL. So one day we actually, instead of talking crap to each other, actually researched, and there are so many cool things and differences between those two that you would never imagine. So definitely cool. I think you could just literally type in what's the difference between Carnival and Royal. I think if you type that on Google, you'll find some cool articles. But there's actually some huge differences in between them. So yes, their charts move a lot alike, but you'll see that they are actually two very different cruise lines. It's kind of fun. It's fun. You got to find a friend, though. I'm not going to lie. It's not as much fun if you're just doing it alone, at least for me. I always have to have someone to bounce ideas off of and just kind of laugh with. But find that someone and just research companies for fun. It's really cool. You don't necessarily need to go in there and be like, Royal Caribbean financial statements. Like, don't be like that. But, like, go into Google and just type in, what is this? What is that? Just type in random questions that interest you about a company. They don't necessarily need to be about the finances of things. Do you think this company will last? Do you think this company has a future? Do you believe in it? I like to use that word, believe. Like, do you believe in it? There's so many stocks out there. It's like, it's not fair to be sitting here and be like, you should all own Microsoft. You should all own Apple, damn it. These make up the S&P. There's plenty of companies out there with amazing upside potential. Amazing downside potential, depending on what trade you're going for. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. If you feel like you haven't really caught a clean trade today, I don't blame you, because there really hasn't been one today. I would say the cleanest, obvious trades today were the move that retook us up here. You had 10 minutes of BS before it finally worked back up again. So really nothing special there either. I mean, it was cool that it went up and actually filled the gap. I mean, movement-wise, nothing special. Rejection, great. Impossible. You would not have grabbed that unless you were just guessing that it was going to reject the close. Lower high happened. This was clean. If you caught this move, this was actually the only move of the day that I would actually agree that made sense and actually got good movement in a good amount of time. So if you were a part of, maybe I'm not saying you would have sold the low of day, but if you were taking this move here, you definitely would have been selling into today's open. This is a really big target for anybody who might have been taking a lower high test there. So good job if any of you were to catch that. But beyond that, we really haven't seen anything else. We've closed back above this now, or we're trying to work back up, but really nothing else has happened, and it's been about 2 hours. So there's still a lot of time of the day. I'm not trying to take away from the day or anything, but I'm just saying there's still a lot of potential for movement here in the chart. But also just kind of sitting here trying to reassure anybody who might be sitting here thinking like, damn, today sucks. But days like this happen though. Days like this happen. They give us good ranges for the next day. And if this looks just like this end of day, you know, we'll be cleaning up this range and the chart will look a little bit different, but it'll be set up in a way that, again, is ready for more information finally tomorrow. But either way, you know, there's still a lot of good potential for movement in the chart on the intraday. Damn, my bad. I just saw what you said, Michelle. You said you're doing full-time trading now. Impressive. Definitely, if I had to give you one tip, I would just say pace yourself. You know, there's no need to always be doing something. You don't need to always be grinding. You know, definitely pace yourself. It's very easy to burn yourself out. Focus on what you like to trust. Focus on the things you like to trade around. There's no need to be fancy and know everything in the world. There's no need to go around and focus on 50 different strategies. You know, focus on you. Focus on what you're comfortable with. You're important. Focus on what you want to focus on. I think it's very easy to lose sight of ourselves when we're so focused on trying to progress, trying to become better. And this buy reaction, by the way, is incredible. The fact that they have retaken not just, you know, part of this little zone we have drawn here, but also trying to push beyond it is just wild. So still not really breaking this lower high trend that we have from the previous day high. Because again, we do have a previous day high lower trend here. On the other end of things, though, if you open this chart up a little bit more, you see we also kind of have the opposite thing going down here, where, you know, you could be setting up. So just a lot of pressure around where we are right now is what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to say bearish or bullish or anything like that. I'm not trying to lead you into a direction. Just saying there's a lot of pressure here. You know, something's definitely trying to happen soon. And it kind of lines up with what we said with a lot of the news coming out tomorrow and Friday. There's going to be a lot more movement probably into this week. And this kind of adds, you know, evidence to that. But I'd like to add, though, on the smaller time frames, anything is possible. Now, I would like to go back out to the bigger time frames and talk to you guys a little bit about this, because if you don't have access to the weekly watch list, you probably have zero idea on what we've been talking about on this chart. But if you don't, or if you have, I would definitely go check out the weekly watch list channel. You could just check out the latest updates on that. But from those updates, we could see we've made another new all-time high, and all we've done from there is just got one gap down, and we're just still chilling inside of that candle. So I know it might feel in your head like, oh my god, we've pulled back so much, or oh my god, we're not going anywhere. But we really have just pulled back once and just sat here. We really haven't done much else. So we're just kind of fighting against that high that we had before this breakout. And we're kind of fighting to see, is this a full-term retest of this latest all-time high breakout? Or is this where we finally slow down? And when I say slow down, I don't mean we're flipping bearish, watch out for big-ass red candle. I don't mean that. I just mean you could start seeing smaller pullbacks that lead into better bullish retests over time. Which, again, you need those to keep going up. So it's kind of like why it feels so awkward here. And then on the tail end, again, like I said, more evidence to what we said earlier. There's a lot more news coming out Thursday and Friday that might actually be what ends up moving this chart a lot more. Changing expectations, so we'll see. But it's also cool just to kind of zoom out to the daily, just to remind yourself, like, oh yeah, we're still here. Like, I don't need to freak out. We haven't gone anywhere. Oh wait, this is the chart I was using. But we've moved far from there, so I'm kind of looking at this one now. A little less info, but I kind of like it. Not as much noise. But I'm gonna zoom in here and we'll just kind of look at this for a bit, and then here in a little bit we're going to be going over a bunch of just levels and charting and stuff. It's really just for my self-maintenance. I'm kind of like fancying it up to like, oh, we're going to chart a bunch of levels, but it's just so I can get a lot of my other charts ready. But I wanted to do it in front of everybody because I feel like sometimes people feel like they're left out on just whatever I might have done. Because there was apparently a lot of people who go back in the streams just to kind of skim through them to see what we did in here. What charts did we look at? which majority of the time we're looking at SPY or IWM or triple Qs or a sector or a big weight of a sector, because again they connect to SPY. But there's a lot of times where we do kind of flip off course and just pretty much look at whatever. A chart is a chart. And good job, Mel, on that latest trade. I had a feeling you were in on that lower high. He then said check daily, still an inside bar. QCOM. Oh, you're looking at QCOM, nice. Damn, I need to actually add them back to my list. QCOM's not a bad one to look at. They get good movement. Cody said, my girl and I moved into a new apartment this year, and we got a 5-day, 4-night cruise as a gift. Damn. That's pretty good. It's a good-ass gift. Did y'all already go on that trip, or is this like something you're still looking forward to? Big news tomorrow. Consolidation makes sense. Started Discord and so yeah. Smarket has I'm not reading that one all the way. Yep, contract went 2 to 6 with nice job, Bell. Good stuff, man. Good sizing. And good risk. I like your risk reward on that because it's pretty obvious. You know, you're like basically in your trade. In here, I'll even do a new chart. Blah blah blah. But basically, in his trade, and why I was also saying this was probably the only actually clean trade or move I've seen today, is because after the gap fill, again, us just having basic context, you know, okay, we had a lower open, cool, so here's our open, here's our previous day close where we gapped down from, we went up, we filled that gap, smacked it real quick, and then from there, if you were to, you know, think of this as a supply, think of this as a demand, the whole red candle, the high to the open of that green candle, just as of today. And I wouldn't draw this all the time, but just in terms of thinking about that, that is where that first move made its move, but also where that second candle, the second better looking move, the lower high of it, actually gave you a better decision. Does anybody know what candlestick pattern this is? Wow, that oval sucks. But yeah, this one. These two here. Does anybody know what candlestick pattern this is? 10 points to the person who gets this correct. Which, again, these points do nothing for you, but... Does anybody know what candlestick pattern this is? One more time. Still looking forward. Have not picked which cruise line we want to go on. You want Royal. You want Royal. Done for today. Have a good day, guys. You too, VC. Good answer, Shaq. Thank you for answering. Thank you, Michael. Another correct answer. Yes, guys, a bearish engulfing, and we know that's bearish, right? So if we have a lower high, right, a potential lower high creating here, we went from the 5, we did a lot of information, we went down to the 1 minute, now we're looking at taking a trade, and we see this pop up. What could you relate this to? So you know how we have a 40% entry, and that means a 40% level of confidence because it's just the first breakout. So it's like it has a chance, but it's not anything crazy strong. And then we have the 80%, right? Where we get that retest. This would be equivalent to a retest trade because it is a lower high retest. So you should have very high confidence when you see a bearish candlestick rejecting a potential lower high retest area. Again, I urge you guys to check out some of the trading videos. But this is a really big favorite of ours, just going for a lower high retest, something simple, you know, and it can happen in any trending market too. It's not like you're just looking for calls or puts every single day. These are nice scalpable moves. Also, they have clear rules, right? What happens if this closes back above? We're out, we're wrong. So we get the hell out because we're wrong, right? We're not always going to be right. 80% doesn't mean we're 100% right at the time. That means 20% of the time we got to watch out. It could go against us. But it ends up working back down and does what? And again, and this is something else I love to work on with people because sometimes I think people aim too far for their targets. But when you're taking these scalps, where should we be taking our profits? Not just into the known levels that we have here, but what happened with price action. You know, there's a little bit of an eve here, a little bit of a dip here. What is going on here? A little bit of a dip here, right? I'm just moving this over so you can see what happened here on the right, but this is what we're looking at. Where price went up, made its little pullback, and before making that lower high, that was the last little bit of what we could call structure you know, that we had here. So where should we be taking profits on our first target? Right here. We don't know that it's going to keep dumping that or not. So we need to take some profits there. Where's the other area that we are aware of that price has been sitting at structure-wise? We have, you know, the meat of the bone about right there, and you got the wick of it about right there. So this area is where we need to be taking our other profits at. You know, if we're taking our first target here and we have a second target here, that needs to be it. Why is that? Not only is it the top of that potential, you know, low of day demand, it's also where we have price action sitting at from earlier. We don't know that the higher low trend is breaking here. We don't know that that's about to happen. We can't see the future. So you need to be taking profits into those areas. And then, when you're lucky, and when you get... I mean, I say lucky, but it's not luck. It really is just amazing planning. When you get moves that do continue to fall through them, good for you. That's a pat on the back. You followed your rules, and you got the cherry on top. I really hope that none of y'all just randomly bought puts on that. That'd have been bad if you just randomly closed 1 minute candle under and you got in. That'd be bad. But I wanted to break down why I thought that lower high trade was a decent trade. Just because it did go hit an area. It did actually... Oh, wait. I don't have to delete any of this. We're on a different chart. But just because it did set up a good opportunity is basically what I'm getting at. And notice, too, we didn't go over any levels that we don't usually look at. We looked at previous day close. We looked at the overnight move, and that was it. Keeping it simple. And they are going to keep the lower high there. We now have another candle breaking lower. So not only did we get a candle that pushed lower, we now have a lower high again stepping in. So we have to assume bears are definitely a lot more present here than bulls, but they're definitely fighting over today's open. Multiple moves up and down under this now. So definitely a huge pivot point. And that's exactly what it is, a pivot point. If you guys ever hear me say the word pivot point, think of a kitchen door like in a restaurant. You know, they like go in and out and they swing both ways. That's exactly what pivot points do. They swing both ways. Price can go above it, price can go below it. Retest that move away from them or even more empowered. Mel said yes sir, chat or posted it in the chat. That's exactly what I did with my trim. That's when I say I don't like the previous wick. Thank you, Mel. Well, good job posting that in chat already. I'm really happy to see you guys not just taking trades or looking to review, but also just, I don't know, the preparation. I mean, the preparation is everything. You got to be here. You got to be looking through this stuff, talking about it to yourself to be ready for it. And even if you didn't take a trade today, it does not matter. Like I just did, you need to be going through this stuff and reviewing, all right, well, what was the best trade? You know, what was something that made sense in a realistic sense? Let's not look at this stuff and make up stuff. You wouldn't be like, well, I would have bought puts right here, right after it filled the gap. I would have totally done that. I would have totally taken profits at low of day. I do that all the time. No, you wouldn't have. Be realistic. But really good breakdowns, really good reviews already posted in chat by a couple people I see. And good job, Carter. Just as SPY was moving a lot, looks like he took a good move on the IWM chart. He said, starting to kill this chart, sold as we pushed towards current day open. Good stuff. Tweezer? No, that was a bearish engulfing. In case I didn't say it. I don't remember if I did. Pretty sure I repeated it. Setting good profit targets. We'll definitely focus on that. Look for those areas of structure, not just with levels that might already be there, but also just what has price done at that point, you know? There's definitely a lot of times where price has already done something. And if you said outside bar, by the way, that is also correct. I just always stick to calling it a bearish engulfing because, I mean, that is what it is. Been getting such a better feel for IWM, killing that chart. Good stuff, Carter. It's nice to not just, like, do good on a chart, but it's also good to, like, progress on something you've been working your ass off. Because I know you've been working on IWM for a little bit now. So, Definitely good for you, man. And you can see too, they're also kind of holding lower highs under the previous day low. If anybody remembers the breakdown from this morning, today, the only two things I really said about this chart was that I'm bearish under this level, which all we did was wick that and hold it all day. But also, whoops, I meant to duplicate, being bearish under this level. We also made the comment to, let me duplicate this and do that again. We're also saying if you get a good close, this is a good pivot point because it's the previous day low. But basically all they did was just hold this with the hammer, and they're holding us down with the hammer. But you can see lower highs are still in place. Sorry, looking for my trend line tool. Lower highs are still in place against that previous day low, so that's pretty cool. Just basic levels, basic trend. We're not looking at anything special here. It's special to us, but I mean, it's not you know, super complex info. It's right there in front of everyone's faces. And I think that's why I like this strategy and a lot of the info we use the most, is because all of this stuff is in front of your everyday trader every single day. But not everybody uses these levels the way we use them. It's in the method that we use them that nobody sees that way. People don't look at previous day low, or I'm sorry, let's say pre-market lows inside of the previous day range. And you get a break of pre-market low. A lot of you guys will obviously be like, oh, well, it's probably going to previous day low. That's the next level underneath. That's not something everybody does. That way of thinking is not something everybody does. People don't think about, oh, well, it's going here next. No, they're looking at whatever the hell the candles are saying. They're looking at whatever their line chart is saying, whatever their indicator is saying. Is their Bollinger Band squeezing? Are their EMAs telling them? Like, not everybody's looking at the same thing. Not everybody looks at the levels the way that we do with that set. Not everybody even uses levels. You know, it's everybody's different. So it's just stick to what you know. Stick to what you practice. There's no need to go out there. I mean, it's cool to learn a bunch of things, but there's no need to go out there and learn 50 different strategies, because then you're going to be sitting here like super confused about everything you're trying to do. And rightfully so, because you're, you know, sitting there trying to learn 50 different strats, and it's just mind-boggling. I think a big thing was understanding the ranges. IWM does not move in dollar amounts like SPY, so being closer to the money and much more scalps every day we learn. There you go. And how do you feel in the price action of it? You like the movement? Movement as in terms of like how it moves between the levels that you're looking at. Like, do you like when it breaks, like, you know, an obvious level? Does it work towards that level, or give you at least an obvious trend, or an obvious break back, you know, invalidation? God, tech was doing so good and they pulled back. Healthcare's kind of been in this area most of today. Banks have been struggling today. Poor discretionary. I mean, it's really just been on the grind up all morning. Nobody helping it out all day. Comms helping out a little bit, actually. I would say that's probably the one helping it the most. You know, tech went up, but it pulled back heavy. At least comms kind of held some of their gains when they pulled back. And just for back testing purposes, I gotta know, did they use this? No, they didn't. Okay. I was gonna freak out if they did. Where did Wednesday's close go? It's way up here. What is this level I have marked? This must be a pre-market low. That is the pre-market low. But I think it changed. Hold up. I'm just trying to back test something real quick. Oh no, that was the pre-market low. Okay. I just had to make sure. Alright, so from the pre-market low,
Actually, kind of ruined it. They closed under it once, then went back up again. So I'm going to go from the low of this candle to the buyer of that candle. Damn, they gave a single candle retest and then a lower high of a midterm retest. That's disgusting. So of the new low, I also need to note that more too, that how they're hitting the fibs, because they're hitting the minus 50% fib and the minus 100%. These are just good extensions, like targets, basically. They hit both in almost one candle. Pretty cool. Is Discord bullying one of you? Alright, I'm zooming in on that again. Let me see if what everybody's saying. It has been much more clean lately. Also think my entries being better helps a lot. Well, good job, Carter. I'm glad to hear that. Alright, guys. Well, SPY's ranging. It actually looks like it's trying to push up after that higher low at 543.69. Sorry, it's so weird saying 543 on SPY. Holding that higher low, it might actually be trying to work up again, but we're still in that lower high trend from previous day high, so keep that in mind too. But I'm going to go chart some stuff. If I'm quiet, I'm sorry. You can ask questions while I'm going. But I'm just going to try to work through some of these charts. Something that I'm a really big fan of doing is abusing the drawings. I really love abusing this because one of my charts I'll have for day trading levels and the other I will have for swing trading levels. And that's it. That's all I do. And then sometimes I'll have like a tertiary chart, like a third one, that I use just for kind of freehand drawing or just randomly breaking down to you guys or talking about or just for myself to look at or just to kind of mess up without ruining my other charts. So sometimes you'll see me have a third chart for that example, but that's about it. I really love abusing that, and I think you guys should really start getting into that too if you are not already. But I really enjoy just using this. It's just super helpful. You can have a chart for freehand drawing. You could have a chart that has just some explanation you had from something you were talking about with your friend. Then you have another one for, swing trading. Then you have another one for day trading levels. Like, it's just nice to have it all set up correctly and just kind of organized. Because then you can just quickly go through and instantly know what you're looking at. It's a one-look thing. And I'm really big on that because it's just quick. Also huge on prep. To have that ready, you have to, of course, have done that the night before or that morning of or the weekend before. And just, again, been ready. And I feel like it's a really good step because it makes you prepare. It makes you kind of put this stuff in your head. I wasn't really good at taking tests when I was a kid. I don't think I'd ever be good at taking tests. But something I was really good at was preparing. I noticed if I did absolutely nothing or if I tried my ass off for like weeks on end, I would never get the results I wanted because I was over-expecting from myself. But if I just kind of put it off and then that morning or that night before put it in my head, kind of put it freshly in my head like what I was supposed to be looking at and be ready for, then I would kick ass.
But if you sit there and you overlook at it, or you overanalyze, you're gonna miss everything. You're gonna think too much. You're gonna become too hesitant. So it can also be hurtful to do too much back testing. So don't be caught here just doing this shit for weekends on end. Give yourself a little bit of break in between. But something big that I love to do is just, again, prep. Prep is really big. So the night before, the morning of the market opens, you definitely need to already have this stuff ready. And if you don't, then that needs to kind of be on your checklist of, am I allowed to trade today? And if you have not done those things, you should have a list that tells you, no, you are not allowed to trade today. So that needs to be a good rule, I think, that a lot of us set for ourselves. Because one, it's not really fair. You don't really get to trade if you weren't prepared. You don't get to have dessert if you didn't eat dinner. It's kind of like something, kind of that kind of mindset. But yeah, I'm gonna get to charting now. I just wanted to go over a couple things. I need to do, oh no, my SPX is done actually. I need to do triple Q. Yeah, we need to do both for triple Q. So default, I'm gonna leave alone. We'll do one for DT and we'll do one for swing. So I'm gonna do the swing one first and then we'll do the day trade one. And if you're confused at all by anything I'm about to do, definitely check out my YouTube channel. My second most popular video, workshop number 11. You're going to definitely want to check that out to understand what we're doing here. But it's just how we get our levels. It's just a rule set that we use to get all of our information. It's just combining price history. It's nothing special. But it is special. It's special to us. And that's actually it. I'm going to go to the weekly now. There's not going to be much to draw here on these swing charts right now because we're at all-time highs on some of these charts. But yeah, I'm just going to go straight to the daily. But let's at least get this last eve we had here. So the last time we slowed down was here. And open of that last green candle before the reversal back down. We'll just include all three. I'm including these three here is what I'm looking at. And we'll add this to 2025. Just so I don't have to mess with it for a while. And right now what I'm doing is just getting zones. And then I want to mark the all-time high, because that's what it is right now. I want to make a different color and a different type of level, so when I see it, I instantly know, oh, I'm looking at something different. I need to mark that gap fill. Might as well mark that low and the gap fill. So it's 471.30 to 472. And that's really all we can do on this chart. The only other thing I can do here that I can think of is a fib extension. So I can draw a backwards fib of the last retest, so where we pulled back from. And what this does is it gives me good targets above the all-time high. These are hidden targets. If you guys have ever reviewed anything Leland has posted about fib extensions, this is one of my favorite things he ever taught. Because I really love hidden information that's in front of everybody's face. I'm really big on that. You guys always see me do that with midterm retest. You guys see me do that with some of the levels that we draw, emerging candles even. But these levels are just like that because they're hidden levels. I think any one of us could say, yes, psychologicals are effective too. 490, 495, 500, and yes, these are close enough. But these are actually calculated and hidden levels, and it's just kind of nice to have them there. A couple of you guys were impressed last time I did this on SPY when we were breaking 500 for the first time. And those were how we got those levels, where it was a backwards fib, and that was it. Just using the fib extensions of the latest retest down, and that was it. So it's just a cool way of getting hidden levels. So now I have some levels above in case we do work higher and make a new all-time high. Now it's not just like, oh, where are we going? No, now I actually have a plan that, okay, well, we have two levels I kind of expect us to work towards if we do make those new highs. But yeah, that's about it. Also, we have a possible two white soldiers pattern happening on tech. So if this holds positive today, that'd actually be very impressive. We might actually go work towards that. And we also have a clear plan too for a breakdown. I mean, it's pretty obvious the low in the gap here. So we're either looking for lower highs under all-time high or a breakdown. But so far, we're still in a bullish trend, so we can't really start talking about bearish trades when we're in a clear uptrend. But that's it for that chart for swing trading. Let's go to the day trading now. And this one's a little more fun because I can just quickly click all the levels. I'm just adding this here to see where that's going. Okay, I needed to make sure that I was at the right level. So remove that one. If you ever see me hover over a red candle, it's because I'm looking to see, like, is the next green candle under it or above it? And if it's under it, then I don't mark it. If it's above it, then that's the next emerging candle. So sometimes you'll see me do that. Just to double check. I guess I didn't have to start so damn low, but hey, might as well practice, right? That's an emerging candle. I also like to mark the all-time high on this as well, color it, give it a different look. And that's about it. I kind of want to mark the 50% of this. I think I'm just going to do the gap fill 50%. And that should be it. And then the rest of this just needs to have your day-to-day levels. So 5 day, 5 minute. And this is really helpful too. Go back to your equity screen and turn on your extended hours. If this helps you, cool. But it's just easy to see. It breaks up the days. But you can see here, you had a demand here at one point. And I'm going to go quickly through this because we've already gone through this a million times. But if you add a couple days to that, you can see we ended up breaking that day. So we move on from that day, delete that. And now the new demand we're drawing is from here. So we're going to focus on this level here. Add a couple days to it just so we can add it to the right. And we can see what happened the next day. Oh, okay, they ended up pushing through it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that one's ruined. Now our new supply would be here. I haven't been drawing the supplies because we've been going down. And then demand would be, well, not demand, but low would be here. Zoom out. Next day happens. This is yesterday. We ended up having a hold in the pre-market. Nothing touched it after breaking the today's open. We ended up retaking today's open, and then from there, I'm saying today's open. This is previous day. From here, this is that open area. We ended up holding higher lows for a midterm retest back up. Again, if you go from today's open to the high of the move before the first resistance stepped in, they actually ended up giving you a midterm retest once and twice. Worked back up, made new highs, touched both fib extensions. Good, cool. After they hit that supply, they slowed down. They ended up coming back down, holding the same area again, gave you another retake again, and they worked back up. So nothing to really change here. At this point, you probably just have that day's open here. You don't have that anymore. You left that because we didn't break range. You left that because we didn't break range. And you move into today's price action now. You have pre-market high, pre-market low, and then all the information we had from the other day that's still left there. And today, we just have a hold of pre-market low and move up. A weak hold of this area. They end up making a lower high here, but it looks like today we'll definitely be editing this zone right here because we've pushed through it multiple times. So we're going to have a new low of demand and a high of supply to mark after today, and we'll probably delete that pre-market low and just kind of focus on the levels. But for now, we'll leave that here, and we'll just kind of, yeah, we'll just leave it there for now, and we'll edit it later when we need to. But it actually looks like tech's coming back with a vengeance. Well, I've been going over it. So they're holding on to the lows of this area. They're breaking part of that lower high trend, which is really good for buyers. Same for SPY, also breaking that lower high trend. Huh, they really waited till I started charting more. Nice breakouts though, 195.50 on Tesla too. They're starting to move more. Alright, let me turn this back off. And yeah, sorry for quickly going through triple Q. I just wanted to get that done because it's not the only chart I'm trying to chart. It looks like I do need to do Apple. Oh yeah, Apple needs to be charted bad. Okay, so default. Actually, it doesn't need to be charted that much. I'm almost done. And we'll start over. Default will be the swing chart. Alright, that one.
We're gonna go back here and call that a day. Go to the daily. Oh my god, that is so calculated. Oh my god. This is why I always say, man, like, fibs are just so fucking powerful. Excuse my language. But if you go from the old all-time high on Apple, is what I was backtesting, to where they push up, make a new all-time high, and basically where they slowed down. You know, and when I say slow down, I mean, did a red candle appear? Did we actually stop making new highs finally? And they did the very next day. So, all-time high at 220.20. You can see that actually when they did pull back and do all this kind of boring, what we would all call boring consolidation, all that stuff, they actually ended up holding at a calculated area between 206.88 and 209.95. And today, does anybody know the name of this candlestick pattern from this candle to this candle? And I'm not saying this is going to send them to a new all-time high. I'm just saying it's pretty impressive how, again, you're seeing patterns with positioning truly show just how powerful they are. So you have an outside bar right here, right? Then it leads up into a gap up. You have an inside bar, and then it leads up into a gap up. But what is this? This is a little different than that gap up. What is this one? Does anybody know the name of this candlestick? Yes, it's a gap up, but what is the name of the exact candlestick pattern? I see Vanessa got it. I see Mikey got it. But yes, guys, it is a kicker, a bullish kicker. It's not just opening over the next day's close. It opened entirely over the previous day's open and close. That is a very strong candlestick today on Apple. Not just the green candlestick aspect of it, the fact of where it opened. It opened right here, right? If you remember how to read a candle correctly, you have open, close, and then on the red ones, open, close, right? So if the open is right here, and we went down that day, I know it's not a lot, and then the next day opened, that means it's not just a gap up. That means it entirely opened over the previous day's open and close. It's a very strong gap up. It's not just over a, you know, it didn't just go from, let me draw this. It didn't just go from here to here. It went from opening here, it fell, closed here, then the next day it opened up here. So it didn't just ruin one level, it ruined an entire session. That's very strong price action right there. And that's why we called them that, kickers, because it's like someone kicked it up. It's like a kickoff. Done for the day, breakfast time. Thank you for being in here, King Carnage. Appreciate you, and have fun with your breakfast, man. Hope you eat up. What was I doing? What was I charting? I was charting Apple. I already forgot what I was doing. So honestly, I might leave this marked. That at least. And then I think I'm going to add the fib extension of the latest retest. There, now I have future levels. And now we can do day trade levels, which this is also not going to take long because Apple's at all-time highs. So we'll just focus back here, I guess. Go right here. Emerging candle, emerging candle. And does anybody, before I move on, remember the special rule when we have a very, 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 very large area, like if we were to take a day trade from 199, it's not really fair to say that our first take profit is 207.15. That would, I mean, not be impossible, but it would be, you know, not realistic. So what is something we can do to add a level in here without making anything up? What is a consistent method we can do to put a level in between those two? What is something we can do? Let me know while I fix this level right here.
Totally fine, King Carnage. I'll be here tomorrow as well. Bulls are cowards. I just saw what you said. Exactly. Draw 50%. Yes. Good answer by Tamara. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Tamara. Will, good answer. Good job, Mikey. He said CP, which stands for control point. It's just a fancy word or name we use for this. So you can cheat. I say cheat. It's just doing it correctly. But you can go from the emerging candle and then draw to the next one. But if you're lazy and you don't feel like looking back over to the left, you can just draw from the level and get a half-ass level on it. You don't have to be perfect, to the cent on it. But just get you that level in the area. And that's it, 50%. So now, it's a little bit more realistic. And you can do that over and over again if you're still in that large of a range. On a lot of tech charts, you'll find yourself doing that. But not every chart. And damn, is this zoom in weird looking. There we go. But great answers, guys. Yes, everybody who answered was correct. Thank you, guys. And that's it. Now we go to the smaller time frames. And I guess you could have added another one here. I don't know. I think at this point, I'd rather just focus on drawing supply and demands. So you have that day's open. I mean, you really just have... Here, let me do this. Alright, so just kind of start from that day if you want to. But fell from here. You got another supply about here. Where are we at? Right, there's that demand it broke. So this is the current demand of the whole move. Ow, my hand. They made that high. That was a supply. So I'm just kind of looking at this now. This is, of course, ruined because of today's price action. But this is what your chart would have looked like today if you had it set up. So that was what that would have been. They broke that, obviously. Held it, pushed over, are now holding a retest above 213. But there's something we're missing here. I didn't draw the in-between zone, did I? So they fell from here. They have their open right here. So it is kind of like up here somewhere, but it's reacting to that. Fell from here. Is this all the same day? It is. This is all of Wednesday of last week. Okay, so this would be the next one. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to think real quick. This is the supply of that day. It's almost like you have a second supply here. It's so weird. I never do that in the same day, but it's like they just had one big ass drop and then like another perfect supply popped up. So that would be what that looks like. They never tested it this day, so your that day's close would be there. They never touched it. And now here they are hitting it. So now you could finally delete it moving into the next day. You'd still have it up for today, but moving into tomorrow, you would definitely delete this level. You can leave all these other zones here and then edit this level as well, this zone. Alright, so at least our Apple chart will be half-assed done for tomorrow. Let me get that close. And yeah, that would be it. Previous day high. But yeah, you got to talk to yourself when you're going through these levels. You're gonna miss a couple things. It's all doing the same thing every single time. It's just like, I don't know. It's so easy to like step over such simple things when you do it so many times. I feel like because you're just like careless, or maybe not careless just because you've done it so many times. Maybe you don't pay attention as much. But it's easy to definitely skip over a couple levels. And then charting all-time highs. I have a couple videos on my channel that cover this, but it's just a little tedious. I feel like it's a little awkward for most people. But charting all-time highs can actually be pretty easy. You just got to have a consistent method of doing the same thing every single time instead of charting it differently. You know, you don't want to make up stuff. It's funny, Microsoft's actually trying to head to their first fib extension level. You don't need to draw that on this one, but I wanted to have it for the Microsoft day trading because it's already making new highs. And then 5 day 5 minute. So this was the supply. They hit it that day. Oh, okay, so it is still there. Rejecting it today, working back into it, holding it, made a new high. So now they're trying to build higher lows here, and if they can, there's a good chance they work towards this level going into the rest of the week. If not, though, this is where they fail from. You'll probably see some really good break of structure, meaning it's going to break that as support, and probably see some lower highs. Whether it's a perfect retest, a single candle retest, a midterm retest, I don't know yet. I can't see the future, but it will be a retest to some extent if it is going to break that and pull down. So at least we have Microsoft ready. I'm going to watch SPY for about 15-20 minutes, and we'll go back to charting a little bit more. But I want to chart a couple more for swing trading and the day trading levels. How's the stream though, guys? We've been going for just under 3 hours now. But how is everybody doing in the stream? How's everybody on Discord? Not just your trading, but how are you doing in general? Doesn't always need to be about every little trade. Oh. What's up, JJ? He said hidden retest on SPY 5 minute. Where are you currently looking? Oh, maybe he's not in stream. Awkward. So he asked hidden retest on SPY 5 minute. I don't think he's in here, but there's not really a hidden retest here. A hidden retest is where they've broken out and they're trying to hold that 50% fib. There really isn't a fib there to grab because we didn't really break out. I mean, they closed once above it here, but there's absolutely nothing that they held on to. So what we're just looking for is just a usual, normal full retest of the previous day high right now. So they're trying their best to hold on to it. The fact they pushed above it is a good sign because you got to penetrate, then you got to hold as a retest, then you can make new highs. They've already done the first step. They're trying to do the second step. Last step, of course, will be making new highs, but it's good to see that they've at least pushed that new high and that they're trying their best to hold on to the previous day high, previous day close area, which again, at first, we were making a lower high trend under, if you guys remember. We were just doing this the whole time. The fact that we've actually closed above and worked back up is a very good sign for buyers. I gotta remember to say that so I don't sound like I'm biased. Amazon all-time high, good call out, Green. Oh my god. If you guys have access to the Discord, please check the Food Picks channel. This man doesn't know how to stop yanking my chain. Yo, I have the same paper plates. I sit them on top of my glass plates, but like in the cabinet or whatever. I have the same paper plates though. This man really pulling up. Do you even actually I like how you have it paused on the first second and it looks like he has it muted at the same time. That is actually probably how you do it. You probably just pull it up, you pause it, you mute it. There's just no way. Damn, you're making me kind of hungry though. I won't lie. That looks pretty good. Damn, Carter. I'm a little late on your post, man. My bad. Did y'all see what he made? He made 160% on that IWM call he took. What?
I just like randomly clicked it there. That's nuts. I always like when people post like 20-30% gains, because those are like, I think people think those are small, but those are really big gains. So when someone posts 160%, I'm always like, what? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of return of what your investment was. Good rejection and pullback back under that previous day high. They've broken it and pulled away from it again. So seeing all kinds of push and pull around that previous day high right now. I'm still more impressed by the buyers though. The fact that we made a new low of day and then from there made a close back over today's open. Plus, I mean look at this. What did I say like the biggest, my favorite pivot point is today's open? They pushed under it, but they closed back above it, and look where they held before the biggest reversal of the day just happened. Today's open. Today's open is one of the strongest and most relevant pivot points of every day. Are you always going to get the move you need at the right time from it? No. It is a very strong and reliable level. You can definitely use it for direction. That's why I'm always when you go through my order of operations videos or my course, I'm always saying, you know, like step one, where's today's open? Like that's your starting point. You gotta have that starting point for your context. You know, in short, in a simple, stupid way, bullish above it, bearish below it. But of course, other things give you better probabilities. If you get better retests, better candlestick patterns that follow, you know, then that's going to be what gives you your better trade under it or over it. It's not just the fact that it's over or under. There's, you know, also those other factors that are important. Rivian, oh, is pooping. I thought he said popping. Huh. And good stuff, Vanessa, on your Tesla trade. $543 was the previous weekly low. Is that what you're saying? Damn, that's actually kind of crazy. 02. What is this candle's low? Oh my god, by 1 cent. That's crazy. I can't take credit and be like, oh, I always see people previous weekly. I don't even mark that myself. But that is interesting price history, though. Like the fact you could just take last week's low, and that ended up being where we reversed from today, almost to the cent. Like literally 1 cent off. That's pretty interesting. I feel like I've seen a couple of you mention like previous weekly low, previous weekly high, and stuff like that. And I know it's just, you know, using just basic price action. Like, oh, look, it's the high or low of this last week we were just trading. Like, I get that. But it's crazy how effective those end up being. Like, even for someone like me who doesn't even think about them, even though they're obviously there. It's just interesting. It's cool seeing things work out. For a reason, too. Not just like, oh, it went up. Okay, but why? Where did it go up from? It's nice to have that.
I'm gonna watch Spy a little bit longer, and then we'll switch back to doing a couple more charts because I need to finish up a couple more. I kind of want to redo like Netflix. I think BA and Coin are fine. John Deere, I might have to do the bigger time frame again, or just review it real quick. And I'll do a couple more, and then we'll see where we're at. But we're almost 3 hours in. Pretty exciting move in the last 30 minutes or so of the day. Or of you know, right now. Not of the day. But very interesting move. And that's why I don't like to kind of like cancel it out. Like I know earlier we were saying like there might not be movement, but we were also saying like maybe they're waiting for lunchtime, maybe they're waiting for power hour. Like it's not good to section off the day and be like, oh, we're not doing anything today. Like no, the morning time, lunchtime, and power hour session are like 3 completely different times of the day. So it's almost like 3 different sessions in a day. I like to split those up in my head because, like, yeah, nothing could happen in the morning, and then if you also see nothing happen at lunchtime, that kind of increases probabilities of getting some movement in power hour. And if nothing happens, then you could just take that day's range and just know that, okay, there is something important happening from this range at some point in the future. So, I mean, even no information is information when it comes to price history. No new information is still information. Anybody know the current price in Neo? Where is Ford at now? I always forget about Ford, but they're actually kind of doing good. Like in the real world. They kind of got screwed in their EV program, but they at least are trying to like limit their losses on it a little bit compared to some of the companies that are like, nah, we're going to keep taking it. Yeah, they have lower highs. That sucks. They probably will kind of cascade down a little bit more. It really depends on the structure that's right here, though. For like where they're going next. Tesla, though, they really are trying to get out of that range that we kind of had them in from that weekly list. So y'all remember the day? Do y'all remember the day Berkshire and all those companies? I mean, it was only like 5 or 6 charts, but a lot of big charts happened where they had those big red days. Apparently, Interactive Brokers disclosed a $48 million loss due to the glitch at the New York Stock Exchange earlier this month that at one point showed a 99% drop in the stock prices of some companies, including Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. A $48 million loss? Good job, Mel. I was just checking out your chart that you posted of your result of your review. You always have previous month, weekly, daily. Oh, nice. Okay. Open, high, low, close on chart as prices fractal. You ain't gonna hear me complain, that's for sure. If I hear someone call out like a random open, high, low, close kind of level, I'm like, I'm all ears. I believe in that too. I just believe it's just part of how the market works. I just think these levels are absolute, and they're consistent. Like it kind of goes with like our belief in the market. Like our theory in our chat is like everything is random until you make it calculated. Like you got to be able to put something in a routine to truly be like, yeah, I can calculate that. Like you never know the market's going to go up or down, but there are certain instances where you definitely have parts of the chart where you're like, well, I'm definitely more bearish here, I'm definitely more bullish here, and that's what we're trying to limit ourselves to. You know, not the randomness of it, but also trying to calculate the randomness of it. If that makes sense. It's weird, but like open, high, low, close, these are consistent levels that are always going to be used, that are always going to be a part of the market. I could delete every bit of chart I have on here. I could delete all of my levels, all my zones, all my indicators, but guess what's still going to be there on my screen regardless of what I delete? Open, high, low, close, all these important areas of different days, weeks, months closing. You know, these are very important levels. You see us use the monthly emerging candles. You see us use the daily emerging candles. You see us put on the intraday levels like the previous day high, low, all that good stuff, pre-market low, pre-market high, you know, all that. And it's just consistent levels that are always going to be there. So why not try to understand how price moves around them? You know, why not? Why go focus on an indicator that moves and is calculated off of these literal things? Why go a step further? Let's just focus on the thing that's being calculated off of: the opens, the highs, the lows, the closes. You know, these are very consistent levels that are going to always be here. So I just love those kinds of levels. So I'm definitely all ears, like I said, with what Ace was just posting in the YouTube stream chat. What's up, Mighty One? Blessings. Pre-market high to low of day fib. What he talking about? My bad, Zaya. I didn't see when you were asking that. I don't remember. My apologies. I must have been talking non-stop when you asked that, and I just didn't see it. My bad.
Insane move by IWM and Spy, honestly. Damn, Apple's holding up very well. Microsoft definitely looks a lot better than they did in the first like 30 minutes of their day. Now they actually have consolidation at these highs. It's not just like hitting it once and slowing down. Amazon crazy day alongside Tesla inside of that discretionary sector. Crazy moves by XLY today. They really were like the green one all day. Like tech was down and then up for a bit, and then they were just kind of everywhere. But they were consistently green today. Tesla having a great day, Amazon having a great day. It's not every time you see those working together too. Like, I feel like a lot of the time when I'm mentioning Tesla's going up or Amazon's going up, I feel like the other one's just like ranging or just, you know, not having a crazy day. So it's really nice when you see them have a really good day at the same time, because that means that sector's kicking ass. Which is a good substitute because tech slowed down today, healthcare was weak, banks were weak, comms were in the gutters at the beginning of the day, but, you know, helped out a lot too, I would say. I'd say comms were also pretty helpful today. The Meta Netflix sector. But guys, it is 11:30. Officially passed up that 3-hour mark. So I think I'm going to end the stream here. We got to do a bunch of charting, a bunch of ranting, a bunch of talking, but I think a lot of that was really good, productive conversation, and I hope a lot of you guys got to take away something from it or go back in the stream and kind of review it a little bit. I hope I'm not coming off as like too aggressive or anything. I really am just fully in belief of my own system and how the levels work and stuff, and it's just cool seeing a lot of you guys back test it too, and seeing other good results and bad results too, and just seeing what we can learn from them. But thank you guys again for this stream, everybody. Seriously, in Discord and on YouTube, we had over 120 people click on the YouTube stream, and I had a bunch of really cool people join in here in the Discord and chill with me. So thank you guys again for the updates, the trades, the conversations, the answering and all that stuff. I really do appreciate it all, and I'll see you guys in here again tomorrow. We'll do another just, you know, usual stream like we always do. I think tomorrow we're going to get a lot more movement with all the news that's coming out, so I'll be sure to go over all that when it comes out. And then Friday, Lifetimers. If you guys have Lifetime access, you have a private stream this Friday. We're going to be going over the handbook. If you're someone, because I had a couple people ask me for Lifetime, but they were asking for a code. If you are actually looking to be a Lifetime member, just reach out to me. I'm pretty chill with helping people get it when they, you know, aren't fully there yet, so just reach out if you're trying to be a Lifetimer. But guys, be ready for that Friday stream. I'm pretty excited about it. And everybody here today, thank you again. I really do appreciate everybody's just involvement, seriously.
But thank you guys again. I'll see you later on, and have a great rest of your day. Please tune into the Discord and just add updates if you have any other things you want to add in there. But yeah, I really do hope you all have a good rest of your day.